Chapter 1184. When you were walking on the road, it suddenly rained. You would complain that the rain came too suddenly, but you actually knew that it would always rain. Therefore, it was hard to say whether the rain was sudden or on time. Life was like rain. You did not know if meeting someone at this moment was a coincidence or was it destined. Perhaps there was no difference between the two. "Uncle, are you going to impart me the Tao of rain?" Kei Junyang asked weakly. After knowing Ning Fan's unfathomable cultivation base, if she could not even see through such a simple thing, she really did not need to cultivate the Tao anymore. Ning Fan nodded and said, "Show me your rain intent." Kei Junyang took a deep breath to calm herself down. Then she showed Ning Fan the rain intent that she had comprehended in her life. Being born in the Sinister Sparrow sect in the ancient rain star sea where it rained all year round, Kei Junyang was a rain cultivator just like most of the disciples of the Sinister Sparrow sect in the upper world. Even though they were all rain cultivators, the rain that each of them comprehended was different. It was just like how none of the millions of raindrops in the world were exactly the same. The rain intent that Kei Junyang comprehended was a kind of rain of longing. The sound of the parasol tree leaves and the sound of autumn. A little banana leaves and a little worry. After the third night, the falling lantern flower chest was not collected. The worries of the two old men of Jiangnan were all in their hearts. "I see. When you were young, Senior Kei Shensi wasn't by your side. That's why your rain intent contained a kind of longing. Longing for your old father who was far away in the lower world. This is very good. Even though there are different grades of divine intent, there is no difference in grade. Your divine intent is your heart. It has integrated your emotions and emotions. Just this point alone has made you much better than the millions of people who imitate other people's rain intent." Ning Fan nodded slightly and praised. "Not as powerful as you described me to be. I'm just used to watching the rain every day and waiting for my father to return. As time went by, my rain intent was successfully cultivated when I wasn't paying attention." Kei Junyang rarely received praise from her elders. For a moment, she blushed a little. "Inadvertently, you have already cultivated the rain intent. It seems that your aptitude is even higher than I imagined. In a silent place, the Tao is naturally in the heart. There are countless immortals and Buddhas in the world who have been painstakingly seeking the great freedom of the Tao technique. However, none of them could attain it. They are not as good as you. When they have the desire to seek Tao in their hearts, the more they yearn for it, the further they are from the great freedom. Little Jiao is slow-witted. She doesn't understand these things." Kei Junyang blushed with shame. She did not understand what the great freedom Tao art that Ning Fan mentioned was at all. She was really stupid. If you don't understand, then forget it. Your strength is that you don't understand, that you are ignorant. Because you are a blank piece of paper, you are closer to the Tao. Initially, I wanted to impart the insights of Senior Kei Shensi to you, but now I've changed my mind. Your rain intent should not be sculpted by me, nor should it be interfered with by Senior Kei Shensi's rain intent. You are born to be a complete circle. You only need to follow this circle and slowly hone yourself. One day, your achievements will surpass all the cultivators of the age of chaos. But I am different. I need to draw my own circle step by step." Kei Junyang could not understand Ning Fan's words. Kei Junyang could not understand Ning Fan's eyes at all. Ning Fan's eyes fell upon the rain. His heart, however, had returned to the boundless past. He had returned to the days when it rained in the Dark Sparrow's grave. From the Dark Sparrow's grave to the Sinister Sparrow sect, and then back to the Dark Sparrow's grave from the Sinister Sparrow sect. This was not the completion of Ning Fan's life as a Tao cultivator. It was just a completion of his rain intent, a reincarnation. The completion of this rain intent was only half completed. What he knew was just a semicircle. Ordinary people would not be able to see this semicircle. However, Ning Fan had experienced too much and comprehended too many things. Thus, he could see this semicircle. "Little Jiao, wait for me for a while. Later, I will bring you to see the real rain." The yin-yang star on Ning Fan's glabella flickered. An unimaginably massive Tao law of rain emerged in his eyes. "Oh," Kei Junyang answered weakly. She did not even hear what Ning Fan said at all. She was already shocked by Ning Fan's current eyes. She seemed to have seen countless torrential downpours in Ning Fan's eyes. Those were Ning Fan's experiences of life and death. At the same time, she seemed to have seen countless misty raindrops in Jiangnan. Those were all the warmth that Ning Fan had experienced in his life. She seemed to have seen Ning Fan's bloody life from his eyes. At the same time, it also felt like she was looking at an ordinary young master who was going on a trip with a beauty. It was an indescribable kind of gaze. Kei Junyang did not know that only those who had comprehended the Tao Lord realm through a complete method could have such a gaze. The past was like a tide. All of Ning Fan's comprehension of the rain in his life were recalled at this moment. Ning Fan closed his eyes. It was as if he had returned to the rain world and the dark sparrow's grave. It was as if he could hear the comprehension of Kei Shensi that was close to his ears yet far away. Rain is born in the sky and dies on the earth. The process of flowing in between is the life of rain. The sky is divided into 4 oceans and the earth is divided into 9 worlds. In the middle of the world is the rain world where it rains incessantly. The rain is born in the sky and dies on the earth. The reason why the rain dies is not because of the death of the body but the death of the heart. Its body will turn into clouds and return to the heavens. However, its heart will shatter when it falls into the mortal world. When the shattered raindrops condense again, will it still be the same person? A rain consists of billions of raindrops. Although they look the same, each of them has its own unique charm. Although the body is the same, the Tao is ultimately different. Slash away the billions of raindrops and transform them into a Tao enlightenment. When the rain doesn't come, there will be momentum. When the mountain doesn't move, there will be momentum. A hidden dragon in the abyss has the momentum to soar. A green insect spinning a cocoon has the momentum to transform into a butterfly. Human kings don't kill, there will be the momentum to submit. When the heaven and earth don't fight, there will be the momentum to overturn. When the Tao is cultivated to the end, there will only be solitude. Relatives may still be grieving, but others have already sung. What's the point of dying? Leave your body to the same mountain. This solitude is like the rain that won't disperse, like autumn, messing up the heart. But without this process of solitude, the Tao can't be cultivated. The rain isn't lonely, but my heart is lonely. Then the rain is also lonely. This is the divine intent of rain. What is rain? I can turn my hand into clouds and turn my hand into rain. Kill with your heart, turn your killing into swords, turn your swords into rain and kill with rain. Thunder will appear on the flat ground, the sky will rain and I will kill. I want this rain to be born on the earth and fight against the heavens so that I can live forever. If I want you to reign, you will have to reign. This is an order. Ning Fan closed his eyes. He lifted his finger and drew a line in midair. As he drew the line, an incredible scene suddenly appeared in the entire ancient rain star ocean. The raindrops on the surface of the sea seemed to have frozen and stopped between the sea and the sky. Kei Junyang was so shocked that she couldn't close her mouth. At this moment, all the rain cultivators and cultivators of Sinister Sparrow sect who came to cultivate in this star ocean were amazed by the changes between the sea and the sky. Is there a cultivator with great divine ability who is comprehending the divine intent of rain here? One should know that this star ocean is almost as big as a mid-grade star region. To be able to stop the rain in an ocean with just a single thought, this person must be at least a late-shedding void realm expert. No, he must be an old monster at the peak-shedding void realm. Everyone raised their heads to look at the sky and the rain, hoping to personally observe this unknown senior display his divine ability. They hoped that they could gain great enlightenment and fortune from it. Ning Fan did not care about what was happening in his surroundings at all. He only focused on drawing his own semicircle of rain. More memories emerged in his mind. He seemed to have returned to the year when he cultivated the rain technique. It was as if he had become the infamous Marquis White Robe of the rain world again. When white robes appear, everyone in the world would wear white mourning cloaks. He felt like he had returned to the rain ancestors' 4 tests of heaven and earth, as if he was undergoing the rain ancestors' trial once again. There is rain in the 9 heavens. My divine sense is connected to a world. The clouds are my eyes and the rain is my divine sense. Heaven and earth are fused into my heart. This is the heaven-peaking rain. What I am drinking is not wine but rain. Ning Fan had already drawn a quarter of the semicircle. At this moment, the rain intent on the surface of the sea began to sublimate and turn into traces of Tao sense. It was Ning Fan's divine sense. It was as if every drop of rain had become Ning Fan's Tao sense itself. This scene was very similar to the heaven-peaking rain technique. However, there were also some differences. The difference was that these rain intents were not used to sense things. Instead, they were used to kill. The strength of the Tao sense carried by each drop of rain was enough to suppress a life-immortal realm cultivator to death. Upon seeing this scene, the entire ancient rain star ocean was filled with the sound of people sucking in cold breaths. Those cultivators who were observing the rain initially thought that the person who was comprehending the Tao sense on the surface of the sea had the cultivation base of shedding emptiness. However, it seemed like this person was obviously not shedding emptiness but broken sense. Besides, it was not an ordinary broken sense. It was the kind of broken sense that had been cultivated to the late or peak stage. The Tao would be born with just a single thought. It was extremely terrifying. It's senior broken sense. We are lucky enough to observe senior broken sense's comprehension. If we can comprehend even a little bit of it, it will be a boundless fortune. Fortune? Let's worry about our own safety first. Every single drop of rain on this ocean has become the Tao intent of that mysterious senior. If he's vicious and merciless, he only needs to send down this rain of Tao intent, and I'm afraid many of us will be directly killed by this rain. You've really become stupid after cultivating the Tao. This is the northern heaven, all right? It's not the eastern heaven. Which senior or old monster would risk the heavenly law to kill the innocent? You and I just need to feel at ease and comprehend this heaven-sent opportunity. That makes sense. The higher the cultivation base of a cultivator, the more they would not dare to violate the heavenly law. Ning Fan continued to trace back. He seemed to have returned to the days when he joined the slaughter palace. It was as if he had experienced the Tao seeking of the northern dipper again. It was as if he had entered the desolate land again and killed everyone. It was as if he had barged into the supreme pill sacred region again and became enemies with a world. He extracted the comprehension of rain from his experience and fused it with his fingertip. Then he drew it in the rain. The rain sense on the sea sublimated again and turned into the powerful Tao law of rain. In the Tao law of rain, there was a trace of palm realm power that was sublimating and approaching perfection. It's actually the power of Tao law. It's not broken sense. This mysterious senior is not a broken sense but an immortal venerate. No, an immortal king. I don't understand what this senior is trying to comprehend at all. I don't understand. I've never seen such a strange and unpredictable rain before. Countless rain cultivators were shocked by the scene. In the midst of their astonishment, Ning Fan drew a semicircle of rain in midair. The starting point was the rain of the rain world's dark sparrow grave and the ending point was the rain of the northern heaven sinister sparrow sect. At the very least, with the last stroke, this semicircle could be considered to have been completed. Ning Fan only needed the last stroke to raise the power of the yin-yang rain to the middle realm of Palm Realm. Then, he would be considered as a true Palm Realm rain cultivator. However, it was extremely difficult to complete the last stroke. This was Ning Fan's first time trying to achieve perfection. It was not strange that he could not succeed on his first try. After trying for a few times, Ning Fan seemed to have understood something. He withdrew his hand and wiped the semicircle that he had drawn from the world. Then he sighed. It's really impossible to break through to the Palm Realm of rain in one try. However, after this enlightenment, my yin-yang rain power has already reached the critical point of the Palm Realm. I'm only one step away from attaining the Palm Realm. This last step can't be forcefully broken through by relying on manpower and material resources. Instead, I have to wait for a life and death crisis or some kind of coincidental epiphany. I didn't expect that I could actually comprehend the Palm Realm Perfection technique after coming to the Northern Heaven Sinister Sparrow sect. If I draw the last stroke of the semicircle, I will be able to attain the middle realm of Palm Realm. If I draw the complete semicircle, I will be able to attain the perfect realm of rain intent and attain the grand completion realm of Palm Realm. Ning Fan dispersed his will and the rain in the entire starry sea returned to normal. Kei Junyang was still immersed in Ning Fan's massive Tao law of rain. She could not extricate herself from it and could not wake up. She seemed to be intoxicated and lost. Little Jiao, wake up. When Ning Fan woke her up from her daze, only then did she realize how rude she was at this moment. I'm sorry, uncle. Little Jiao was a little absent-minded. I didn't hear you calling me. Kei Junyang said with a red face. Don't be confused by the power of my Tao law. What I want to show you is not these. As long as your cultivation base reaches a certain level, you will naturally be able to grasp the Tao law. What I want to show you is something else. No, it's not just to show you. If it's before I gained enlightenment, I could probably only show you with your eyes. Now, however, I can do more. I can turn you into wind and rain. Ning Fan held Kei Junyang's hand, causing her face to turn even redder. However, Ning Fan did not have any distracting thoughts and Kei Junyang also did not have those kind of romantic thoughts. When Ning Fan held her hand, she only felt warmth. She only felt that she was being held by an elder. Her father had never held her hand before. She often fantasized about how it felt to be a little girl from a mortal family who was held by her father's hand when they went to the streets to buy candy. Now she understood. It was probably the feeling she was experiencing right now, turning into rain. As soon as Ning Fan's voice fell, he turned into a cloud of qi with Kei Junyang at the next moment and rose into the sky. Then, he turned into raindrops and fell on the surface of the sea. Kei Junyang was completely stunned. She knew about void fragmentation realm transformation technique. It allowed a cultivator to transform into all living things. It was an extremely high-level transformation technique. If Ning Fan only turned her into rain, she would definitely not be this shocked. However, it was different now. She really turned into rain. Her cultivation base that she had accumulated in her entire life had vanished. She lost her body and the qualification to turn into a human again. She lost her spirit sense and language. She was just rain. She really turned into rain. Hence, for the next half a month, she turned into rain and went back and forth between the sea and the sky of the starry sea. Sometimes she would turn into rain and fall on the surface of the sea. Sometimes she would turn into clouds and return to the sky. Rain's perception of time was different from humans. To humans, the time it took for rain to fall from the sky to the sea was just tens of breaths. To the rain, it was a very long life. From the beginning to the end, Ning Fan did not give any advice to Kei Junyang nor did he directly impart his rain intent to her. He only gave her a chance to turn into rain. In just half a month, he helped Kei Junyang experience the life of rain for tens of times. Half a month later, Ning Fan removed the power of the rain seat and turned Kei Junyang back into a human. Kei Junyang, who had turned back into a human, had already forgotten the fact that she was once a human after experiencing the life of rain for tens of times. Thus, after she turned back into a human, she did an extremely stupid thing. She took off her clothes and jumped into the sea from mid-air with a splash. Like a drop of rain, she fell into the sea. Then, she leaped out of the sea like a mermaid and flew towards the sky, trying to return to the layer of clouds and jump again. She still thought that she was rain. She completely did not realize that she was a human. Little Jiao, wake up. The corner of Ning Fan's mouth twitched. He could see that Kei Junyang had obtained a huge comprehension of the rain intent in the past half a month. She could even forget herself and truly turn into rain from the depths of her heart. The high aptitude of this lady made him speechless. Should he say that she was indeed worthy of being the daughter of Kei Shensi? However, this woman was too muddle-headed. She would fly around naked and the scene made Ning Fan feel awkward. However, Ning Fan was a person who had seen too many beauties. He would not simply have thoughts about a little girl's body. After scolding her a few times, he woke Kei Junyang up. Then, Kei Junyang woke up from the wondrous comprehension of turning into rain. She then put on her clothes again while crying. She was crying because she was too unbearable to actually do such a thing in front of Uncle Ning. She was simply too ashamed to show her face. "All right, don't cry anymore. Uncle didn't see anything." Ning Fan comforted her. "Really?" Kei Junyang wiped her tears and secretly heaved a sigh of relief. She actually believed Ning Fan's words. "Really?" Ning Fan was speechless. This lady was really gullible. Her IQ and EQ were comparable to Ji He's team. "Oh, then I'm relieved." After feeling shy, Kei Junyang was surprised to find that her body had undergone a huge change. Her cultivation level did not change. Her cultivation level did not change. However, the rain intent in her body had actually increased by more than 10 times. Moreover, she had actually cultivated the Tao sense of rain at the crossing truth realm. Tao sense was the power of the thought-breaking realm. She had actually mastered it at the early crossing truth realm. At the same time, the bottleneck of the crossing truth realm seemed to have loosened a lot. Kei Junyang felt that if she goes into seclusion right now, she would be able to break through the bottleneck of the mid-crossing truth realm which she had been stuck in for many years. "Thank you for passing on the Tao to me, Uncle." Kei Junyang was extremely grateful. "What are you thanking me for? If your aptitude is not enough, even if I give you the opportunity to turn into rain, you won't be able to get too many benefits from it. Your aptitude is really high. Uncle is praising me again." Kei Junyang said modestly but inwardly, she was very happy. She had never experienced the care and concern of an elder before. She had never been praised by an elder. Ning Fan was the first. Every time he praised her, she would find the things that she lacked in her childhood. "All right. I have given you all the things that I wanted to give you. I still have some matters to attend to. I won't stay here for long. Don't tell anyone about our meeting. If you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can crush this jade token and ask me for help." The jade token was condensed from Ning Fan's spirit sense. It contained the rain sense of Ning Fan who had reached the critical point of the sovereign realm. As long as Ning Fan was still in Northern Heaven, he would be able to sense the jade token no matter where he was. "Are you leaving now, Uncle?" Kei Junyang really wanted to ask Ning Fan to stay. However, she could tell that Ning Fan had a lot of matters to attend to. It was impossible for him to stay by her side. Keep these pills. They will be very beneficial for you to break through to the mid-crossing truth realm." Ning Fan reached out his hand, wanting to pat Kei Junyang's head out of habit. However, when he recalled Kei Junyang's protest just now, his hand stopped in midair. Then Kei Junyang blushed and brought her head to Ning Fan's hand. Ning Fan was startled. Then he burst into laughter and left after patting Kei Junyang's head. "This lady has already acknowledged me as her elder from the bottom of her heart." After laughing, Ning Fan became silent again. He left a recording jade slip in the storage pouch that he gave to Kei Junyang. There were some messages recorded in the jade slip. Ning Fan did not intend to hide the fact that Kei Shensi had been possessed from Kei Junyang. "I wonder how this woman will feel when she finds out the truth of the matter." A long time after Ning Fan had left, Kei Junyang was still standing on the ocean in the rain, staring blankly at the direction where Ning Fan had left. "It was not easy to have a senior who cared about me, but he left again." Kei Junyang let out a faint sigh and returned to the sect. Only when she returned to the sect did she have the leisure to look through the storage pouch that Ning Fan had given her. After reading it, she was so touched that she burst into tears. The pills that Ning Fan left behind were not only enough to help her cultivate to the mid-crossing truth realm but also enough to cultivate all the way to the shedding void realm. In addition to that, there were also some insights that Ning Fan had gained when he was in the crossing truth realm. These insights were of great help to Kei Junyang. In her entire life, it was the first time that Kei Junyang was treated so kindly by someone other than her father. How could she not be touched? After feeling touched, Kei Junyang suddenly found an unusual jade slip. She opened the jade slip. She listened to the recording inside it. Then, with tears streaming down her face, she put down the storage pouch and held her father's ashes. She finally knew the truth. She finally understood why her father had such a huge change after returning from the desolate mountain. It turned out that her father had died a long time ago. He had been dead for so many years. However, she actually did not know. Father? Little Gio misses you. As soon as Ning Fan returned to the Black Devil sect, he saw Han Shichi standing outside his cave residence in the desolate mountain anxiously. Fellow Taoist Ning, so you went out. I thought something happened to you in the desolate mountain. I almost dug 3 feet deep to find your remains. When Han Shichi saw that Ning Fan had returned safely, he could not help but let out a sigh of relief. Then, his expression darkened and he said angrily, Fellow Taoist, you actually didn't tell me when you went out. I have always been worried that something happened to you while you were in seclusion in the desolate mountain. If you disappear for no reason, those who don't know would think that you have been burnt to ashes by the earth-fire elemental power. Next time you go out, you must tell me. Don't make me worry for nothing. This Han Shichi was quite hot-tempered. However, it was rare that Ning Fan did not get angry because he could feel that this Han Shichi was really warm-hearted and was really worried about him. I'm sorry for making fellow Taoist worry. Next time I go out, I will inform fellow Taoist. Ning Fan said apologetically. Alright. It's good that fellow Taoist is fine. I am an impatient person. I will say whatever I want to say. It was just an unintentional remark. Fellow Taoist doesn't need to apologize for such a small matter. By the way, the reason why I came here this time is not only to check on your safety, but also to tell you something. 3 months later, the Northern Heaven Sex competition will officially begin. The first competition is a regional battle. At that time, my Black Devil sect will have to fight against more than 100 sects in the surrounding star regions. You should also prepare yourself. If you need pills or magic treasures, you can just tell me. I will bring you to the sect's storehouse to get them. After sending Han Shichi off, Ning Fan returned to his cave residence. He used the Earth Escape art and entered the secret chamber of the sect master in the belly of the desolate mountain. Compared to the Northern Heaven Sex competition, Ning Fan was more worried about the hidden danger of the immeasurable pill. He had already obtained the multi-layered soul sealing technique. Next, it was time to remove the hidden danger in his body. Fortunately, most of the immeasurable pills he consumed in the eastern boundary river were obtained from the Little Mountain world. Unfortunately, he had consumed quite a number of measureless hidden dangers pills. After studying it repeatedly, Ning Fan found out that this multi-layered soul sealing technique was actually a secret technique that could only be practiced by cultivators who possessed the ancient divine, ancient demon and ancient devil bloodlines. It was a type of sealing technique. The sealing technique was very simple. Basically, spirit-severing realm cultivators could learn it with just a glance. However, the Great Tao was always simple. In this world, the simpler something was, the more peculiar and extraordinary it was. After studying it for more than 10 days, Ning Fan shockingly found out that this sealing technique was actually extremely profound and unfathomable. The reason why those who had seen this technique felt that it was simple was because what they saw was only the yang seal that was exposed on the outside. In fact, this technique also contained an extremely terrifying yin seal. Even with his current strength, he could only vaguely see the existence of the yin seal. It was not strange that Kei Shensi and the disciples of Sinister Sparrow sect could not see the existence of the yin seal. In the following days, Ning Fan tried to cultivate this technique. Once he started cultivating it, he actually discovered that there was a hidden danger in his cultivation base. With the help of this technique, Ning Fan actually forced out small grains that were the size of rice from the depths of his magic power. These things that looked like rice seemed to be real and illusory at the same time. It was impossible to touch them with one's hands. Once they are forced out of his body, they would immediately dissipate. At first, Ning Fan thought that the rice in the depths of his magic power was the leftover from eating the spirit recovering rice. However, the truth was not like that. After buying some ancient books from the ancient country trading formation, Ning Fan found out the true name of this item. Tao nurturing immortal grain. There was a sect in the true world that used the human body as soil to nurture the Tao and grow immortal grain. The immortal grain could not leave the body. Once it leaves the body, it would turn into ashes. Therefore, when the immortal grain matures, the cultivator who was used as soil would be eaten together with the immortal grain in his body. This method of nurturing the Tao was extremely cruel. It completely treated the person being nurtured as livestock. Who is it who dares to raise us, the descendants of the Purple Dipper sect, like livestock? Did Divine Master Nangong in the past think that he had reached the standard of the immortal grain maturing? Ning Fan was shocked. For the first time, he felt that the world that immortal sovereign Zido left for the descendants of Purple Dough was not safe at all. Instead, it was filled with danger. Who was the person who used all the descendants of Purple Dough as soil to nurture the Tao? Could it be the great enemy of Zido immortal domain in the past? Chapter 1185. The multi-layered soul sealing technique was a type of sealing technique. The target of the technique was not the enemy but the user. The yang sealing technique of this technique had very simple changes. Any divine transformation realm cultivator would be able to understand the changes of the technique. However, the yin seal of this technique was unimaginably complicated. Even Ning Fan could only roughly tell that the technique used in the yin seal was a fusion technique. The content of the technique was like hundreds of mazes that intertwined with each other. Each of the mazes had millions of forks, and each of the forks had tens of thousands of traps. This was not a sealing technique that ordinary people could understand. Even someone as strong as Ning Fan could only understand the surface of this technique. It was too difficult for him to fully understand it. The person who created this technique had combined tens of thousands of sealing techniques of the divine, demon, and devil races together to create the multi-layered soul sealing technique. The technique needed to absorb the power of the divine, demon, and devil races at the same time in order to operate normally. Therefore, only those who cultivated the divine, demon, and devil bloodlines could use this technique normally. The cultivation world was full of cunning and schemes. No one could avoid being targeted by others for their entire life. Even someone as lucky as Ning Fan had been schemed against by others along the way. As soon as he was born, he was schemed against by Great Emperor Luck Master. When he first cultivated the ancient devil path, he was schemed against by Great Emperor Mo Luo. When he went to the desolate world, he was schemed against by old ancestor Enemo. After finally attaining the immortal king realm with much difficulty, Ning Fan was left speechless when he realized that he had actually been tricked again. Without realizing it, he was raised like a livestock and his body became the soil for the Tao nourishing immortal grain to grow. Not all schemes could be avoided. If one could not avoid it, one could only face it bravely and try to solve it. Even though the Tao nourishing immortal grain was powerful, it was not impossible to deal with it. The person who created the multi-layered soul sealing technique seemed to have been schemed against by a Tao nourishing immortal grain. In order to defeat the Tao nourishing immortal grain in his body, he had no choice but to spend his entire life to create this technique. With the ability to communicate with all living things, Ning Fan chatted with the ancient book of the multi-layered soul sealing technique for a long time and obtained this information. After that, he began to focus on cultivating the multi-layered soul sealing technique. A cultivator's magic power would go through many qualitative changes. Magic power would turn into 60 units. 60 units would return to origin. Origin would turn into immeasurable. Immeasurable would turn into tribulation. From the life immortal realm onward, cultivators would begin to have immeasurable magic power. This immeasurable did not mean that their magic power was limitless. Instead, it referred to a change from being measurable to being immeasurable. At this stage, the cultivator's magic power was like a large lake. The size of the lake could still be seen, but the number of water droplets could not be counted with the naked eye. As the cultivation of life immortal continued to increase, this lake of mana would turn into a raging river, a vast ocean. The number of water droplets in the sea could not be measured with the naked eye, but the scale of the sea itself could be measured. If the amount of magic power in a tribulation is compared to an ocean of magic power with a fixed scale, then there were a total of 13,700 spots in Ning Fan's body. Among them, each ocean of magic power had a handful of Tao nurturing immortal grains snuck in and planted within. In order to search for all the Tao-nurturing immortal grains, one would need to scour all 13,700 seas. One would need to repeat the meticulous task of finding a needle in a haystack 13,700 times. This matter was very difficult and required a lot of time to complete. It was definitely not something that could be accomplished in a day or two. 1 month later, Ning Fan completed the multi-layered soul sealing technique. He planted 13 layers of seals in his body, sealing all the 13,700 tribulations of magic power in his body. At this moment, not a single trace of his cultivation base or chi could be sensed from his body. He was just like a mortal. The principle of the multi-layered soul sealing technique was to freeze the ocean of magic power to prevent the flow of the seawater and reduce the difficulty of fishing out foreign objects. During the process of searching for foreign objects, it was usually not recommended for cultivators to tear off the seals. Otherwise, there would be a certain degree of side effects. Of course, the side effects were not serious. If there is a need, Ning Fan could tear off the seals at any time and restore all of his magic power. He did not need to worry about being attacked by quasi-saints during the process of sealing his magic power. If the enemies were just some ants, Ning Fan would not need to use his magic power at all. He would be able to fight against immortal Emperor Doomsday Art with just his divine spirit body. Ning Fan also discovered something else. When the ocean of magic power in his body was frozen, not only would it reduce the difficulty of fishing out foreign objects, but it would also reduce the difficulty of purifying his magic power. According to Ning Fan's calculation, when the multi-layered soul sealing technique and the art of purification are used together, the speed of purification of magic power could be increased by around 26 times. Thus, the process of Ning Fan cultivating the purity of his fifth tribulation magic power became very easy. It was indeed an unexpected gain. Another month passed. Ning Fan, who was in seclusion, was called out by Han Shichi. The reason was that the date of the sect competition of the Northern Heaven was approaching. The Lost World Palace was the strongest force in the Northern Heaven. Of course, it did not include the secret races and the 4 majestic sects. Within the Lost World Palace, there were 3 factions: the Northern Palace, the Eastern Palace, and the Western Palace. The competition between the 3 palaces had been going on for a long time. Ordinary people would not be able to understand why they were fighting. Basically, every 500 years or so, the 3 palaces of the Lost World Palace would fight against each other. It was fine if they fought among themselves. However, the troublesome thing was that when they fought, they would have to drag all the sects of the second step of the Northern Heaven along with them. Hence, every time the competition between the 3 palaces of the Lost World Palace began, it meant that the sect competition that would sweep across the entire Northern Heaven was about to begin. As long as a sect participated in the sect competition held by the Lost World Palace and obtained a decent ranking in the competition, they would be rewarded with a large number of Tao crystals and pills by the Lost World Palace to strengthen their sect. To those small sects, the sect competition was a great opportunity to earn money. Of course, they would be happy to participate. The big sects, on the other hand, were not interested in the rewards of Tao crystals and pills. However, according to Han Shichi, the Tao crystals and pills were only the rewards of the first round of the regional competition. Once they entered the second round, the rewards that they would obtain would be far more abundant than these things. It was even enough to make the hearts of thousands of ancient monsters move. Therefore, the big sects also flocked to the sect competition like a flock of ducks. However, unlike the small sects, their target was usually the rewards of the second round. Our Black Devil sect is different from those big sections. Our goal is to enter the top 20 in the first round of the regional competition. There will be no rewards after the 20th place. Once we enter the top 20, we will get at least 500 million Tao crystals as a reward. Sigh, with this money, we can recruit more disciples. Unfortunately, it's not easy to enter the top 20. In short, we will do our best and leave it to fate. Brother Ning, you should also get ready. From tomorrow onwards, we will be going to the Purple Dress Palace to participate in the regional competition. We, the Purple Dress Palace and the White Devil sect will be in the same battle zone. There are a total of 124 sects of the second step in this battle zone. Among them, the Purple Dress Palace is the strongest with 4 old monsters of the void-shedding realm. This sect has been ranked first in this battle zone for 16 consecutive years. Therefore, the venue of this year's grand competition is still set in the Purple Dress Palace. The Purple Dress Palace is a little far from the Yin-Yang Star. We need to depart before the grand competition begins and rush to the star region where the Purple Dress Palace is located. Han Shichi and Ning Fan were talking about the grand competition of the sects and inadvertently mentioned the Purple Dress Palace. Ning Fan felt that the name Purple Dress Palace sounded a little familiar. Thus, he searched through his memories for a long time and finally found something related to this sect in the corner of his memory. It turned out that when he changed his name to Liu Bei in the past, he had killed members of the Purple Dress Palace. However, he could no longer remember who he had killed. Moreover, he did not only kill members of the Purple Dress Palace but also many young geniuses of the Northern Sky. At one point in time, the name Liu Bei was widely spread among the young generation of the Northern Sky. Of course, as time passed, the popularity of Liu Bei had already faded away. The young geniuses of the Northern Sky rarely mentioned this name anymore. However, there were quite a number of young geniuses of the Northern Sky who had seen Liu Bei in the past. Ning Fan did not kill all of them. Therefore, he was not sure if he would be recognized as Liu Bei if he participates in the grand competition for the Black Devil sect. So what if they recognize me? So what if they can't? Does the current him need to be afraid of the forces of the Life Immortal Realm, Duzhen Realm, and Shikong Realm behind those young geniuses of the Northern Sky? A few days later, Ning Fan followed Han Shichi and the others to the star region where the Purple Dress Palace was located. The minimum requirement to participate in the grand competition of the sects of the Northern Sky was to be a void fragmentation realm cultivator. There were not many people from the Black Devil sect who could participate in the competition. There were only 2 Life Immortal Realm cultivators, 6 void fragmentation realm cultivators, and Ning Fan, who was an unusual being. Therefore, there were not many people who came with them. Other than the 9 experts who participated in the grand competition, there were only 40+ elite disciples who came with them. These people were here to broaden their horizons. They were the future of the Black Devil sect. During these days, Ning Fan's magic power had been screened and filtered by multiple layers of soul sealing technique. A portion of the magic power had already been filtered. After the seal melted, it flowed back into Ning Fan's body. Currently, the magic power that Ning Fan had recovered was almost equivalent to the early Duzhen realm. Was the speed fast? Not at all. The magic power of an early Duzhen realm cultivator was less than the amount of a single tribulation. More than a month had passed and Ning Fan had not even finished screening the magic power of a single tribulation. At this speed, it would take him at least 1,000 years to finish screening all of his magic power. It was too slow. Ning Fan had no choice but to change his plan. After the regional competition ends, he planned to find some time to visit the headquarters of the Lost World Palace to visit Bei Xiaoman and her elder sister, Yuan Yao. Then he would rent a Lost World Tower to screen his magic power. Halt! When the Black Devil sect's planetary ship arrived at the territory of the Purple Dress Palace, a group of cultivators from the palace stopped the planetary ship with unfriendly expressions. After a thorough check, they continued to let the ship pass. Along the way, they had experienced such checks several times. When those cultivators from the Purple Dress Palace interrogated the experts of the Black Devil sect, their expressions were quite unfriendly. However, they were just unfriendly towards the Black Devil sect. When they interrogated the other sects, the cultivators of the Purple Dress Palace behaved very politely, which made Ning Fan feel annoyed. Does our Black Devil sect have a grudge against the Purple Dress Palace? Ning Fan frowned slightly and asked Han Shichi. You can say that. You have just reached the void fragmentation realm not long ago. There are many things that you might not know. When our sect master was young, he was unscrupulous and had offended many sections. He had offended almost half of the Duzhen and Shikong forces in the Northern Heaven. Moreover, because the White Devil sect had been secretly targeting our sect, There were also many sects who had received benefits from the White Devil sect. That's why they kept targeting us. If it wasn't for the fact that our Black Devil sect has enemies everywhere, we wouldn't be in such a difficult situation where we can't even recruit disciples. Han Shichi sighed. Ning Fan's frown deepened, but he did not say anything else. When the group of people from the Black Devil sect stayed in the guest house of the Purple Dress Palace, Ning Fan finally realized how unpopular the Black Devil sect was. Isn't this the group of devil cultivators from the Black Devil sect? This time, they came to the grand competition of sects to embarrass themselves again? Do they think that the 71st place in the previous competition wasn't embarrassing enough? Someone mocked the Black Devil sect. The competition system of the regional competition requires each sect to send 20 experts to participate in the competition. The Black Devil sect is just too ridiculous. They can't even gather 20 void fragmentation experts. Only 9 of them can participate in the competition. Someone mocked the Black Devil sect behind their back. We have received benefits from the White Demon sect in this year's grand competition. Once we meet people from the Black Demon sect in the competition, we must teach them a lesson. Someone had received benefits from the White Demon sect and wanted to deal with the Black Demon sect. The Black Devil sect. Han Yuanji's sect. That year, Old Monster Han severely injured me. It's fine even if we don't meet the Black Devil sect in this competition. If we do, this old man will definitely collect some interest from Old Monster Han's disciples and grand disciples. There were also people who wanted to take revenge on the Black Devil sect because they were bullied by the old monster. With Ning Fan's keen senses, he had heard too many voices against the Black Devil sect in the open and in the dark. Without a master, is this how the Black Devil sect has been living these past few years? Ning Fan was unhappy. Very unhappy. He was the sect master of the Black Devil sect. His sect was bullied and looked down upon by others. How could he be happy? In the beginning, Ning Fan was not interested in the grand competition of sections. But now he changed his mind. He wanted to teach a lesson to all the people who targeted the Black Devil sect in this competition. Protecting his own people? That's right. Ning Fan wanted to protect his own people. The tradition of the Black Devil sect was to protect their own people. In the past, when Ning Fan was still young, it was the old monster who protected him without asking for any reason. Now, it was Ning Fan's turn to protect the old monster and the Black Devil sect. He didn't ask what the old monster did or who he had offended. No matter what, no one could bully his Black Devil sect. 3 days later, the grand competition of sects would officially begin. 124 sects of the second step had gathered in the Purple Dress Palace to compete for their own ranking. The Black Turtle sect was one of them. The Black Turtle sect was a force of Duzhen. It had Duzhen, 9 life immortals and 10 rogue immortals. Among the 10 rogue immortals, there was a young man and a young girl who were very eye-catching. The young man's Taoist name was Yi Qing. He was dressed like a Taoist child. The young girl was called Bailey. She wore a purple dress and carried an exquisite sword case on her back. Logically speaking, the young man and the young girl were only rogue immortals. They were not qualified to be the center of attention. However, they had a strong background. Taoist child Yi Qing was the child of the tablet-bearer great emperor. He had the backing of an immortal emperor. Therefore, even true immortals would have to be polite to him. Bei Li's status was even higher. She was the daughter of the palace lord of the Lost World Palace and the personal disciple of the tablet-bearer great emperor. Among the 4 young ladies of the Lost World Palace, the eldest young lady, Bei Shi, had the highest aptitude while the 3rd young lady, Bei Li, had the best opportunity. Among the 4 sisters, only Bei Li was fortunate enough to have an immortal emperor as her master. This opportunity was unimaginable to ordinary people. Her perfect background, beautiful appearance and extraordinary aptitude in cultivation made her the object of admiration of many young men in the northern sky. At this moment, there were 6 or 7 young masters and Taoist children of the major forces surrounding Bei Li and fawning over her. Bei Li frowned as she dealt with these annoying pursuers. If it wasn't because the grand competition was about to begin and these young men had to go back to prepare for the next battle, they would probably continue to pester Bailey. "Senior sister, why are you so gloomy?" Taoist child I Ching noticed Bailey's frown and asked in puzzlement. "The northern border river is in chaos right now. If we are not careful, it will be a calamity. There are beast tides coming every day and there are cultivators of the northern sky being killed by them. Under such a serious situation, there are still people who are busy with their own affairs and don't care about the safety of the world. The old ancestors of the three palaces are still fighting openly and covertly for the illusory lord of the 8 formations of stone soldiers. The young masters and Taoists of the big sects are busy with their affairs. Junior brother, don't you think that this competition between the 3 palaces was a mistake from the beginning?" Bailey shook her head and said, Senior sister, please be careful with your words. You are the 3rd lady of the Lost World Palace. There are some things that others can say but you can't." Taoist child I Ching smiled bitterly and advised. "That's right. There are some things that I can't say. Mother's situation in the Lost World Palace is already very difficult. If I say something wrong again, it will only bring trouble to Mother if the Great Elders faction finds out about it." Bailey sighed softly. She was not interested in the sect grand competition at all. If it wasn't because the Black Tortoise sect was her master's subordinate force, she wouldn't even agree to the Black Tortoise sect's request to participate in the competition. Bailey's eyes swept across the seats of each sect. The more she looked, the colder her heart became. The Snow Sword sect, a life immortal force. In order to participate in the competition, they sent 3 life immortals. However, they only sent 5 void fragmentation experts to participate in the battle at the northern border river in response to the 4 sea sects conscription order. The volcanic sect, a Duzhen force. They only sent 1 life immortal for the conscription order. However, they sent 2 Duzhen and 6 life immortals for the competition. The Divine Hammer sect, a Duzhen force. They only sent a few void fragmentation experts for the conscription order. However, they sent all of their experts for the competition. The Falling Heaven sect, a life immortal force. They only sent 2 void fragmentation experts for the conscription order. The Vast Ocean sect, the Flying Immortal sect, sigh. Bailey couldn't understand. Most of the sects in the Northern Sky did not care about the battle at the Northern Sky sect. They only sent some experts for the conscription order of the 4 Sea sect. The cultivators of the Northern Sky had never truly experienced the terror of the chaos of the border river. The Eastern Sky had once been invaded by the foreign races in the Starry Sky and suffered heavy casualties. Therefore, most of the cultivators of the Eastern Sky sect joined the battle with the determination to die. However, the Northern Sky was different. It was too comfortable and had never experienced that kind of disaster. Therefore, it could not feel the pain of being invaded by the foreign races. This was the headquarters of the 4 Sea sect. Moreover, because of the heaven-avoiding coffin, there were actually countless experts in the Northern Sky who were in deep slumber. The overall strength of the Northern Sky was far from what the Eastern Sky could compare with. The Northern Sky was too strong. The sense of security it gave people was too strong. Therefore, even if the chaos of the border river erupted, most of the cultivators of the Northern Sky still did not feel much danger. Even if the sky collapsed, wouldn't there be a higher peak? With the 4 Sea sect at the forefront, those people did not believe that the Northern Sky would really perish. The chaos of war would sharpen one's courage while peace would lead to decay. Because every place in this place was restricted by the heavenly law, force could not decide everything. Therefore, the desire of the cultivators for power was stronger than anywhere else. As for power, it was precisely the thing that cultivators did not need the most. The Rapid Lightning sect is a force of life immortals. When the conscription order was issued, they only sent 2 void fragmentation experts to deal with the situation. The Black Devil sect, a force at the life immortal realm. The Black Devil sect is an unusual sect. Even though the sect's strength is obviously weak, they actually sent a life immortal realm expert and 4 void fragmentation realm experts to participate in the conscription. They are almost half of the experts of the Black Devil sect at that time. Unfortunately, the battle at the Realm River was just too dangerous. the 4 Void Fragmentation Realm experts that the Black Devil sect sent to the battlefield had all fallen. The Life Immortal Realm expert that they sent was also schemed against by his companions on the battlefield. After suffering severe injuries, he had no choice but to withdraw from the battlefield. This man is their vice sect master, Hanjiao. Bailey didn't have a good impression of most of the selfish sects in the northern sky. Only a few sects, including the Black Demon sect, could make her admire them. Bailey, who was observing the Black Demon sect, suddenly froze, as if she had seen something inconceivable. Unexpectedly, she saw a very familiar figure in the Black Demon sect's seats. It's him. It's the person who transformed into a deity in the Sea of Clouds, the person who turned back on the 10 Steps Bridge. Bailey saw Ning Fan. She remembered Ning Fan's appearance and also remembered his name. In the past, she had even argued with her mother and her younger sister Xiaoman about who was the person with the highest innate potential among the younger generation. In the past, the scenes of Ning Fan slaughtering mortals and divine transformation realm experts amazed her. Bailey's face blushed for no reason. Then, she hid her blush and pretended to be calm. She rose to her feet and walked towards the Black Devil sect. However, as if they had met by chance, she walked towards Ning Fan and greeted him. "Young Master Ning, how have you been?" Ning Fan, who was chatting with Han Shichi, was stunned. "You are..." For a moment, Ning Fan actually could not recognize who Bailey was. Bailey's beautiful eyes darkened. She was a little shocked. Ning Fan actually did not even remember who she was. Did she not leave a deep impression on Ning Fan in the past? "My name is Bailey. Young Master Ning, have you forgotten about the divine transformation realm in the Sea of Clouds?" Bailey let out a faint sigh. So it's an old friend. I'm sorry. I remember your identity and the help you gave me in the 3 steps of mortal execution. However, I don't have a deep memory of your appearance. That's why I couldn't recognize you at first glance. Please forgive me," Ning Fan said apologetically. Unfortunately, his apology seemed to have made Bailey feel even more shocked. He actually didn't have a deep memory of her appearance. Her appearance was at least at the level of a country-toppling beauty. However, Ning Fan actually couldn't remember her. Could it be that young Master Ning is face-blind? Puccied when she thought of this possibility, Bailey's anger turned into a smile. She felt that it was very interesting. Little did she know that her smile had caused an uproar in the seats of the Black Devil sect. The vice sect master Han Wu and Han Jiao were shocked. They could not understand why the guest elder that their sect had just recruited would recognize a great figure like Bailey. Han Shichi and the other Void Fragmentation Realm old monsters were speechless towards Ning Fan. With the identity of Bailey, she took the initiative to strike up a conversation with him. However, Ning Fan stupidly said that he did not remember her. Not only the seats of the Black Devil sect. Everyone who was secretly paying attention to Bailey had noticed the conversation between her and Ning Fan. "Who is he? I never knew that the people of the Black Devil sect are on good terms with the 3rd Miss of the Lost World Palace." Some old monsters were puzzled. "Damn it! Who is this brat? Miss Bay has never smiled at us before. Why did she smile at him? This brat actually dares to snatch Miss Bailey from us." All of Bailey's pursuers were filled with hostility towards Ning Fan. However, who was Ning Fan? He had experienced massacring millions of foreign races all by himself. He had even single-handedly challenged the entire dark race. Would he be disturbed by some hostility? It was impossible. "Young Master Ning, how long have you been in the Northern Heaven? Did you break the void and ascend to this place? Or did you use the quota of the Ascension Passage? The quota of the Lost World Palace doesn't seem to include you. Could it be that you broke the void and ascended to this place? Or did you use the private quota of the other forces in the Northern Heaven?" Bailey sat down beside Ning Fan and asked curiously. "It's true that I have just arrived in the Northern Heaven not long ago. As for how I came here, it's better if you don't ask." Ning Fan casually smiled and did not explain further. He remembered that Bailey was Bei Xiaoman's 3rd elder sister. Even so, he would not tell her too many secrets. Is young Master Ning going to fight for the Black Devil sect this time? Bailey felt a little disappointed when she sensed Ning Fan's unapproachable tone. If that's the case, please be careful, young master. I've received news that the people of the White Devil sect have secretly colluded with the Purple Robe Palace. The schedule of this regional competition will be extremely disadvantageous to the Black Devil sect. Bailey said worriedly. Is there such a thing? Thank you for your reminder, Mississippi. Even though Ning Fan was expressing his gratitude, he did not actually care about the White Devil sect's schemes at all. A group of Du Zhen and Life Immortal Realm cultivators from the White Devil sect wanted to scheme against him? How ridiculous! If the White Devil sect's quasi-saints who were in deep slumber appeared, Ning Fan might still pay attention to them. However, it was obvious that the quasi-saints were not interested in such trivial matters. They would not intervene at all. Damn it! Who is this brat? Miss Bay is actually sitting beside him and chatting happily with him? What? This is impossible. Miss Bay is actually pouring tea for this brat. What kind of ability does this brat have to make Miss Bay serve him? This brat is obviously a pretty boy. I hate him just by looking at him. Bailey had just too many pursuers. When these people saw Ning Fan chatting happily with Bailey, they could not bear it at all. If it wasn't for the restriction of the heavenly rules, they would definitely rush forward and beat Ning Fan up. Ning Fan was too lazy to care about the hostile gazes of those juniors. He was still chatting happily with Bailey. While they were chatting, Ning Fan suddenly noticed something and frowned. Then he did something that made all of Bailey's pursuers furious. He held Bailey's hand. Then he carefully stroked the lines on her palm. This is unforgivable. This brat actually held Miss Bay's hand. He deserves to die. I'm going to kill him. Don't be impulsive. The heavenly rules forbid this kind of private battle, especially in a public place like this. Then I'll give this brat a good beating when the grand competition begins. I'm going to cripple him. Ning Fan still did not care about the hostility of those juniors. He frowned and concentrated on observing Bailey's palm. The more he looked at the lines on her palm, the deeper the frown on his face became. Young Master Ning, what are you doing? Bailey's face flushed red. She was chatting with Ning Fan when he suddenly grabbed her hand and caressed her palm. This is the behavior of a lecher. It's too rude. Could it be that young Master Ning is a lecher? Impossible. If an ordinary person did that, Bailey would probably reprimand him for his rudeness. However, since it was Ning Fan who did that, Bailey still gave him face despite feeling embarrassed. She did not reprimand him. She just lowered her head and said with a blushing face, Young Master Ning, please behave yourself. Do you think I'm flirting with you? Ning Fan was speechless. Otherwise, Bailey was slightly surprised. She was not stupid. From Ning Fan's words, she could tell that she had misunderstood him. You shouldn't take a bath, drink water, or get wet in the rain for now. Try your best to reduce your contact with water. Especially, don't practice water elemental magic techniques. Young Master Ning, do you mean that I've been schemed against? There's some hidden danger in my body that prevents me from coming into contact with water? And I can't even use water elemental magic power? Bailey's beautiful face was slightly surprised. Ning Fan's words were transmitted to her using telepathy. She was not stupid. She could guess what Ning Fan meant. As one of the 4 mistresses of the Lost World Palace and at the critical moment of the competition between the 3 palaces, it was perfectly normal for her to be schemed against. One had to know that her eldest sister, Bei Shi, was almost killed and was almost captured and offered to the Realm Beast clan. Fortunately, she was saved by a mysterious ghost-faced senior in the end. Today, it's her turn to be schemed against. Can't the people of the Great Elders faction just live in peace for a few days? No wonder my progress in cultivating water elemental magic techniques has been very slow recently. Moreover, once I cultivate for a long time, I will feel dizzy and weak. My blood and chi will also be depleted. Young Master Ning, can you cure my symptoms? I don't want to tell my mother or my master about this. If you have a way to cure me, please help me. Bailey begged him with a soft voice. It's just a small matter. After the grand competition is over, I will look for you and cure you. To Ning Fan, the schemes in Bei Li's body were indeed just a small matter. He could cure her with just a little bit of effort. Thank you. Bei Li's heart was filled with sweetness and gratitude. Dong, dong, dong. Suddenly, a heart-stirring sound of a war drum resounded from the center of the venue, interrupting their conversation. After the sound of the drum, an old monster of the Purple Robe Palace appeared at the center of the venue in a flash. He was the sect master of the Purple Robe Palace, True Lord Songzi. Peak Renhuang Void Realm Cultivation Base. As soon as he appeared, he released an incomparably powerful Renhuang Void Qi. All of a sudden, the entire venue became quiet under his aura. No one dared to make any noise. I will be the host of this grand competition. Since all of you are here to participate in the grand competition, you will have to abide by my rules. If anyone dares to violate the rules during the competition, don't blame me for being merciless. True Lord Songzi said with a threatening tone. As soon as he said that, the expressions of many old monsters changed. Many of them kept their thoughts to themselves. With True Lord Songzi personally presiding over the competition, there were really not many people who dared to cause trouble in this place. Now, I will make an announcement. The regional battle of the 92nd Battle Zone has officially begun. Next, those who have been called by me can enter the arena. Chapter 1186. Now I will announce. The regional battle of the 92nd Battle Zone has officially begun. Next, those whose names I call, please enter the arena. Scholarly Cultivator Sect, Meng Yuan. White Crane Sect, Su Liang. Rapid Lightning Sect, Lei Zhan. Snow Sword Sect, Jian Nanxian. True Monarch Songzi called out 20 names in one go. Those who were called out all entered the arena. There were a total of 124 sects participating in the regional battle of this battle zone. There were more than 2,000 participants. Naturally, it was impossible for them to fight each other in pairs. How long would it take for them to fight each other? Therefore, at the beginning of the regional battle, a chaotic battle would be used. After some of the participants were eliminated, the individual battles would begin. In the first half of the competition, the Purple Robe Palace would randomly choose 20 participants to participate in a chaotic battle that was limited to the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. During the chaotic battle, the Purple Robe Palace would send out 20 judges at the same time to tally the scores outside the arena. Each judge would be responsible for one participant. The scoring criteria included effective attack, successful defense, defeat, and kill. If the opponent is a Void Fragmentation Realm Cultivator, effective attack, 2 points will be added. Successful defense, 1 point will be added. Defeat, 50 points will be added. Kill, 25 points will be added. If the opponent is a Life Immortal Realm Cultivator, the points will be increased by 10 times. If the opponent is Duzhen, the points will be increased by 100 times. If the opponent is Shikong, the points will be increased by 1,000 times. It was Ning Fan's first time witnessing such a formal competition. Should he say that this was indeed the Northern Heaven Realm? Even the rules of the competition were different from other places. Moreover, Ning Fan also realized that the points of killing the opponent were only half of the points of defeating the opponent. As expected, the Northern Heaven Realm did not encourage killing during the competition. However, it was not completely forbidden either. The 20 participants in the first round of the chaotic battle were all Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators. It seemed like True Monarch Zongzi did not plan to let those with high cultivation bases participate in the battles too quickly. I declare, the first round of the chaotic battle begins now. As True Monarch Zongzi gave the order, the 20 Void Fragmentation Realm participants immediately engaged in a chaotic battle. Some of them fought in pairs while some of them formed temporary alliances and fought in groups of 3 to 5. The battles were intense. However, these participants still knew to hold back. None of them killed their opponents after defeating them. At most, they would only injure their opponents severely. This wasn't out of compassion, but to obtain more points. Killing wasn't as worthwhile as defeating, that was all. After the time it took for an incense stick to burn, only 8 of the 20 contestants were still standing in the arena. The other 12 people were disqualified from the competition. However, those who lost would not have no achievements. As long as they had made some effective attacks in the chaotic battle, they would more or less be able to obtain some points. Most of the losers got 10 to 20 points, while the lesser ones only got single digits. The 8 people who won didn't have very high scores. Basically, they all had more than 100 points. After all, only Void Fragmentation Realm experts are involved in the first round of the mixed battle. Even if you defeat all 19 of the other participants and display several spectacular attacks and defenses, you can only get slightly more than 1,000 points at most. What was the use of more than 1,000 points? Defeating a life immortal was 500 points, defeating Duzhen was 5,000 points, defeating Shikong was 50,000 points. After the first round, Perfected Lord Songzi began the second round of roll call. The second round of chaotic battle was another 20 Void Fragmentation Realm experts. It was the same for the third round. After the novelty had worn off, Ning Fan was no longer interested in the confrontation between a group of Void Fragmentation Realm juniors. However, during the fourth round, Perfected Lord Songzi called out the people from the White Devil sect. Only then did Ning Fan pay attention to the situation on the arena again. White Devil sect Lu Feng. Iron Sword sect Zheng Lai. White Devil sect Qin Binghua. White Devil sect Bai Kong. Out of the 20 participants, only the 16th person was called out and 3 of them were from the White Devil sect. Can there be more than one participant from the same sect in the same round? Ning Fan asked with a frown. According to the rules, it's allowed. However, since the order of the list is decided by the Purple Robe Palace, they can usually avoid such a situation. If such a situation really occurs, there is only one reason. They did it on purpose? Bai Li also frowned. It was unfair for 3 cultivators from the same sect to appear in the same chaotic battle. The 3 of them could work together, trust each other completely and cooperate with each other tacitly. Bai Li did not like this kind of unfairness. However, she knew that this world was never fair. The Purple Robe Palace was the champion of the last regional competition. They could arrange the matches however they want. If you don't like it, you can just win the first round and control the next round as you wish. Huan Stream Sect Lu Yun. Evergreen Sect Taoist Qing Cheng. Heavenly Spirit Sect Zhou Wei. Black Devil Sect Han Shiqi. After 4 more names were called out, all the 20 participants in this round had been called out. When the last name was called out, the entire venue fell into a dead silence. Then, many of the seats began to whisper to each other. In Northern Heaven, there was no one who did not know about the feud between the Black Devil sect and the White Devil sect. The Purple Robe Palace had called out 3 loose immortals from the White Devil sect and an 8th Heavenly Layer Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator from the Black Devil sect. Their intention was obvious. The Purple Robe Palace wanted to see the White Devil sect bully the weak cultivators of the Black Devil sect by relying on their numbers and high cultivation base. They were openly suppressing the Black Devil sect. They did not want the Black Devil sect to get a good result. All the cultivators of the Black Devil sect stood up in anger. Damn it! These people from the Purple Robe Palace did it on purpose. Last time, they also arranged the competition in the same way, causing us to only get the 71st place among the 124 sections. The White Devil sect has sent out 3 loose immortals. Once the chaotic battle begins, they will definitely attack Brother Shiqi. Brother Shiqi, we don't want to get a good result in this round. With your 8th Heavenly Layer Void Fragmentation Realm cultivation base, if you are besieged by 3 loose immortals, you will either be severely injured or die. The White Devil sect won't care about the difference in points between killing and defeating. They will definitely kill you directly to achieve their goal of weakening our sect. The other Void Fragmentation Realm elders of the Black Devil sect were advising Han Shiqi to give up the competition. Although Han Shiqi was very angry at such a blatant act of suppressing him, he had no other choice. If he were to brace himself and fight, he would probably die in this round. He was not afraid of death, but he was not willing to fall into the conspiracy of the White Devil sect and the Purple Robe Palace and die in vain. Thus, Han Shichi listened to the advice of his old brothers and walked to the center of the venue. Then he slowly raised his hand unwillingly. He intended to give up. However, at this moment, he heard the sarcasm of the three cultivators of the White Devil sect. In the past, Han Yuanji only knew how to escape when he encountered trouble. Until now, he has been hiding in the lower world to live an ignoble life. You people of the Black Devil sect are really the same. You only know how to escape and hide. Just like Han Yuanji, you are all trash. How dare you insult my master? Han Shichi's eyes, which had always been a good person, suddenly revealed a great killing intent. He also had a reverse scale that he could not touch. The old devil who had helped him before was that reverse scale. So what if I insult your master? If you don't want your master's reputation to be tarnished, don't escape and don't give up. Let's fight fair and square with us. If you escape, you will discredit your master. This matter will certainly be publicized by us, and you will become another laughingstock of the entire northern heaven. The three cultivators of the White Devil sect deliberately provoked him. This was an overt plot. Everyone could see that it was an overt plot to force Han Shichi to accept the challenge. However, it was precisely because it was an overt plot that Han Shichi could not escape with his character. He did not allow himself to discredit the old devil. He did not allow others to laugh at the old devil. Therefore, he did something stupid. He ignored the dissuasion of the other cultivators of the Black Devil sect and went to the arena with the determination to die. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Han Shichi was seriously injured and was on the verge of death. He was carried down the arena. Ning Fan remained silent and his expression was as usual as if nothing had happened. However, those who were familiar with him would know that this was the expression he would have when he really wanted to kill someone. He did not stop Han Shichi's foolish decision to accept the challenge. He only secretly protected Han Shichi several times when he was supposed to die and saved Han Shichi's life. No one noticed that he had saved Han Shichi. Therefore, many people could not understand why Han Shichi, who was just an 8th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator, was almost killed several times. However, he always managed to survive until the end with serious injuries. Are the three of you trash? 3 rogue immortals besieged an 8th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator and they could not kill him even after the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Moreover, they were effectively attacked by him and he got 34 points. You are simply discrediting my White Devil sect. After this round, a reprimand came from the seats of the White Devil sect. The one who scolded them was the sect master of the White Devil sect, a late True Crossing Realm old monster. The ones who were scolded were the 3 rogue immortals who failed. On the other side, the seats of the Black Devil sect were filled with dead silence. No one spoke. Everyone's eyes were bloodshot as they looked at Han Shichi who was being carried down from the stage on a stretcher. Han Shichi was obviously suffering from serious injuries and was on the verge of losing consciousness. However, he was still holding on to his breath. His eyes were filled with inviolable glory. I didn't embarrass the sect master. When I die, bury me in the Black Devil Mountain. Seeing that Han Shichi was about to die, each of the cultivators of the Black Devil sect surrounded him and used their abilities to save him. However, they did not have the ability to save a person whose primordial spirit had already dissipated. Even the 2 vice sect masters who were at the life immortal realm could not do it. Why did he still participate in the battle even though he knew that he was going to die? Bei Li's expression was filled with shock. She saw something in Han Shichi. It was something that she could not understand. It was something that many cultivators in the northern heaven regarded as stupid. It was rare that she did not care about the Black Devil sect and Han Shichi because of Ning Fan. She took out a 9 revolutions pill, wanting to save Han Shichi. Unfortunately, she only had a 9 revolutions lead pill with her. A pill of that level could not save Han Shichi who was about to die. Instead, it was a waste of a good pill, brothers. See you in my next life. Han Shichi closed his eyes tiredly. his breath was cut off. The old cultivators of the Black Devil sect who were present could no longer hold back their tears. Each of them had tears in their eyes. However, something strange happened. Han Shichi was already dead. However, his breath reappeared for some unknown reason after he died. At first, his breath was very weak. However, it gradually became stronger and steadier. Han Shichi actually came back to life again. The injuries on his body were also recovering at an astonishing speed. Why am I not dead? Han Shichi opened his eyes, feeling puzzled. The other old cultivators of the Black Devil sect were stunned at first. Then, they burst into tears of joy and thanked Bei Li profusely. Everyone thought that it was Bei Li's 9 revolutions lead pill that took effect and healed Han Shichi. No one knew that it was Ning Fan who secretly protected Han Shichi and healed him with the Black Star Art. With Ning Fan's current cultivation base and the Black Star Art, even if Han Shichi was smashed into pieces, he would still be able to come back to life as long as the attacker was not an ancient monster. This was also because Ning Fan had not cultivated the Black Star Art to the highest level. If he cultivated the Black Star Art to the highest level, those who were illuminated by the Black Star Art would be able to survive even if they were besieged by immortal emperors. That Han Shichi is really lucky. He was actually saved by the Lost World Palace's third mistress. After knowing that Han Shichi was still alive, the people of the White Devil sect were displeased. It was not just the White Devil sect. Many people who hated the Black Devil sect, including the Purple Robe Palace, felt regretful inwardly. If the Black Devil sect was unhappy, they would feel happy. If the Black Devil sect was happy, they would never be happy. This Han Shichi is really lucky. True Lord Songzi snorted coldly. The 3 loose immortals of the White Devil sect that he chose could not kill Han Shichi. The people of the White Devil sect are really useless. But it doesn't matter. Next, he will have plenty of opportunities to suppress the Black Devil sect. In the 5th round, True Lord Songzi chose another 3 loose immortals of the Flying Immortal sect. The Flying Immortal sect also had enmity with the Black Devil sect. After choosing the people of the Flying Immortal sect, he certainly would not forget the people of the Black Devil sect. Then, he chose another Void Fragmentation Realm Elder of the Black Devil sect. Han Shichi, who was at the 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. After coming to the Black Devil sect, Ning Fan was only slightly familiar with Han Shichi. He was not familiar with Han Shichi at all. He was not familiar with Han Shichi's character. However, he was familiar with the look in Han Shichi's eyes. It was a kind of look that one's reverse scale had been violated. Not only Han Shichi, but all the people of the Black Devil sect also had the same look in their eyes. There was no need for the people of the Flying Immortal sect to provoke them anymore. After the incident with Han Shichi, none of the cultivators of the Black Devil sect would give in or compromise. They would not let Han Shichi do stupid things alone. If he wants to be stupid, everyone will be stupid together. If I die in battle, I hope that all of you can collect my remains and bury me back in the Black Devil Mountain. When the sect master returns in the future, please help me tell him that I didn't embarrass the sect master. Not even in death. Han Shichi only left such a short sentence. Then he went up the arena and joined the chaotic battle. After that, his primordial spirit was destroyed by the 3 loose immortals of the Flying Immortal sect, and he died on the spot. At the seats of the Flying Immortal sect, countless laughter was heard, as if they were celebrating the loss of an elder of the Black Devil sect. However, they only laughed for a few times before they could not laugh anymore. Han Shichi, who had been turned into ashes, was resurrected without a scratch. What? How could someone who was clearly dead come back to life? Could it be that his death was just an illusion? A mere 7th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm could actually deceive us with an illusion technique? How is this possible? What level of illusion technique is this? All of a sudden, the entire venue was filled with exclamations. Moreover, the owners of these exclamations were Life Immortal Realm, Dujin Realm, and even Shikong Realm. No one actually understood the technique of Han Shichi's illusion technique. Trash. 3 of us can't even kill one Han Shichi. All of you are trash. the sect master of the Flying Immortal sect also reprimanded his own sect members. However, this sect master actually knew that he probably wouldn't be able to kill Han Shichi if it was him. It was because Han Shichi's illusion technique was too strange. If one could not see through and dispel an illusion technique, one would not be able to kill the opponent no matter how much stronger one's cultivation base was. First, it was Han Shichi. Now it's Han Shichi. These ants of the Black Devil sect are a little too lucky. True Monarch Zongzi frowned slightly. True Monarch Zongzi was obviously not in a good mood after failing to kill the people of the Black Devil sect twice. Therefore, he chose the people of the Black Devil sect for the 6th round of battle. This time, he directly chose the vice sect master of the Black Devil sect, Hanjiu. Hanjiu's opponents were the 4 life immortal realm experts of the Purple Robe Palace. Among the 4 of them, there was even Gui Xian. Even if Hanjiu was at his peak, he would certainly not be a match for the 4 of them. Moreover, he was not at his peak at all. He had responded to the conscription order and participated in the Great Battle of the Border River. In the end, he was sneak attacked by the people of the White Devil sect from behind. He was severely injured and had no choice but to retreat from the battlefield. Even though he was already out of the state of near death, his injuries were still extremely serious. With such a physical condition, it was impossible for him to be a match for the 4 life immortal realm experts of the Purple Robe Palace. However, he still went up to the arena without hesitation. What is there to fear about death? The only thing I can't do is to tarnish the reputation of the old devil. There are no cowards in the Black Devil sect. Kill! As soon as the battle began, the 4 life immortal realm experts of the Purple Robe Palace charged at him. In just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, they killed the severely injured Hanjiu. However, something strange happened. Hanjiu could not die. No matter how they killed him, he could not die. Until the time it takes for an incense stick to burn had passed, Hanjiu was still not dead. Why? Why is it so difficult to kill a cultivator of the Black Devil sect? All the enemies of the Black Devil sect were puzzled. At this moment, even a fool could see that something was wrong with this matter. However, none of them could find the cause of the problem. True Monarch Zongzi's expression became even uglier. Since he could not kill Hanjiu, he tried to kill Han Wu. Similarly, Han Wu was besieged by many experts and did not die. Then, he dealt with the remaining Void Fragmentation Realm experts of the Black Devil sect one by one. However, none of them died. I don't believe that I can't kill anyone of the Black Devil sect. Isn't there a first heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator over there? Let's try picking him again. Thus, True Monarch Zongzi picked Ningfan's name in the following chaotic battle. Ever since Ningfan arrived, he had been talking and laughing with Bailey. He had already offended countless geniuses. Therefore, even if True Monarch Zongzi did not pick those sects that held grudges against the Black Devil sect, they would still have ways to deal with Ningfan. Other than Ningfan, the other 19 people he picked were all Bei Li's pursuers. They were the Dao children and young lords of various large forces. As they were the successors of their sects, the resources that they enjoyed were not comparable to ordinary cultivators. They had more powerful magic treasures. They had even more mysterious secret techniques. True Monarch Zongzi did not believe that Ningfan could not be killed? What a joke! Thus, this round of chaotic battle became interesting. Even if the other Black Devil sect members were besieged, they would only be besieged by a few people. Ningfan, however, was different. As soon as he entered the arena, he was surrounded by 19 geniuses and Dao children from various sections. It was rare for these geniuses of the northern sky to have a tacit understanding with each other. They wanted to beat Ningfan up, but Ningfan obviously would not give them the chance to do so. Facing the 19 fools, Ningfan only stretched out a finger and flicked it lightly. All of them were sent flying away, spurting out blood from their mouths. In the blink of an eye, Ningfan had defeated 19 Void Fragmentation Realm experts. Moreover, the strength of these Void Fragmentation Realm experts was a level higher than Void Fragmentation Realm experts of the same level. However, Ningfan did not kill these fools. Every debt has its debtor. The cold light in his eyes was not because of these senseless fools. What? This man only seems to be at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, but he has such a terrifying physical body. He can defeat 19 void fragmentation realm experts in an instant with just the strength of a finger. Everyone was shocked by the terrifying strength that Ning Fan displayed. 950 points. This was the points that Ning Fan obtained after defeating all the fools. After defeating these people, Ning Fan should have left the arena immediately to make space for the other participants. But he didn't leave. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He stared at True Lord Songzi and said, "Didn't you want to suppress the Black Devil sect? Then they'll call names and send someone to kill me. I'll stand right here, waiting for you to kill me." What? How dare a mere void fragmentation realm junior treat me with such disrespect? You're courting death. True Monarch Songzi was infuriated by Ning Fan's provocation and almost fainted. Even if Ning Fan can kill 19 void fragmentation realm experts with a single strike, True Lord Songzi would not put him in his eyes because the power of a peak-shedding void realm expert was far beyond the imagination of an insignificant void fragmentation realm expert. True Lord Songzi was confident that he could look down on Ning Fan with his pride. However, right now he, the dignified old monster Shikong, was provoked and mocked by a void fragmentation realm junior. If he did not do something about it, he would certainly become the laughingstock of the entire northern heaven. Young Master Ning, come down quickly. Don't provoke the master of the Purple Robes Palace. Otherwise you will. Bailey was extremely anxious. She wanted to stop Ning Fan's foolish behavior, but it was already too late. It was too late. Perfected cultivator Songzi began the roll call again. Since Ning Fan still wanted to fight, he did not mind finding more people for Ning Fan to fight. Logically speaking, it would not be appropriate for someone who had just fought in the previous round to be called again in the next round. However, the Purple Robes Palace had a certain degree of discretion regarding the rules of the battle. If Perfected Cultivator Songzi was willing, he could even call Ning Fan's name for dozens of rounds consecutively without any problem. Everyone has also seen it. This brat is looking down on me and the Purple Robes Palace. It's really hateful. However, a competition is a competition. It's impossible to be unfair just because of my anger. I will suppress this brat's arrogance fairly and fairly within the limits of the rules. Among the participants, who wants to go up the stage to participate in the next round of the chaotic battle? Just tell me. I will call your name right now and let you exchange a few blows with this brat in the next round. As soon as Perfected Cultivator Songzi's words fell, hundreds of participants immediately volunteered to attack Ning Fan in the next round of the chaotic battle. These people were basically the enemies of the Black Devil sect in the same battle zone. All the members of the Black Devil sect were enraged. They had always known that the world was unfair. However, they did not know that the Purple Robes Palace actually dared to do such an unfair thing so openly and brazenly. They actually wanted to find another 19 experts to attack Ning Fan together. Aren't they afraid of being punished by the Four Majestic sect? The Four Majestic sect was also dissatisfied with the Black Devil sect. As long as it's about suppressing the Black Devil sect, they would not interfere at all. Instead, they would secretly support it. That was why the Purple Robes Palace dared to go to such extremes. If it's another sect, the Purple Robes Palace would certainly not dare to bully them like this. Let's go together. Who cares about the rules? Let's go and protect Brother Ning together. We can't let outsiders bully the members of the Black Devil sect. If we die together. Han Shichi, who had already recovered his health, rolled up his sleeves and was about to lead the others to help Ning Fan. However, Ning Fan just flicked his sleeve and produced a breeze of magic power. It blocked the path of the cultivators of the Black Devil sect, making them unable to move forward. The expressions of the members of the Black Devil sect changed drastically. Under the obstruction of Ning Fan's magic power, even life-immortal realm cultivators like Han Wu and Han Jiao could not move forward, let alone void fragmentation realm cultivators. Why does Ning Fan have such terrifying strength? At this moment, Ning Fan released all the qi of his magic power that he could emit. Thus, everyone present could feel the qi of Ning Fan's early true crossing realm magic power. Early true crossing realm. This young man is actually a true immortal realm cultivator. Why have I never heard of this person in the Northern Heaven true immortal realm? He's actually a true immortal realm cultivator. No wonder he could defeat 19 void fragmentation realm cultivators with a single move. The Black Devil sect has actually recruited a true immortal realm elder. Are they going to rise again? The surroundings were in an uproar. True Lord Songzi's expression changed. He did not expect Ning Fan to actually have such a powerful cultivation base. In his opinion, an early true crossing realm cultivator was already considered as an expert in the lawless age. Unfortunately, so what if you're true crossing realm? It's not much harder for me to kill you than squashing an ant. My Purple Robes Palace has a certain degree of arbitrary power in the rules of the battlefield. Now, I've decided to change the rules of the chaotic battle. From now on, there will be no limit to the number of participants. Anyone whose name is called by me can join the battle no matter how many people there are. True Lord Songzi's words instantly changed the rules of the battlefield. It was no longer 19 people besieging Ning Fan. Instead, a few hundred people rushed to the arena and surrounded Ning Fan. Among these few hundred people, there were more than 90 life immortal realm cultivators, 22 true crossing realm cultivators, and 5 Shikong cultivators. Bei Li's face turned pale with fright. If Ning Fan is besieged by so many experts, he will certainly die even if he has an early true crossing realm cultivation base. I can finally get my revenge on Han Yuanji's disciples and grand-disciples. I've been waiting for this day for far too long. An intermediate true crossing realm yellow-robed old man held a ball of green light in his hand. He took the lead and dashed towards Ning Fan. As he waved his hand, the green light instantly turned into a green divine spear and pierced towards Ning Fan. As soon as they saw the yellow-robed old man making his move, the hundreds of experts who surrounded Ning Fan immediately retreated and activated their strongest defense. Obviously, they were extremely afraid of this attack and were afraid of being affected by it. Damn it! Xian Bingzi is too reckless. He actually used such a dangerous forbidden technique on the arena which is just 1,000 zhang tall. Is he trying to get all of us involved? Rumor has it that Xian Bingzi had used this technique to severely injure a late true crossing realm cultivator. Since he has used this technique, it seems like that brat will die for sure. Bang! Before the surrounding people could finish their discussions, Ning Fan had already shattered Xian Bingzi's divine spear with a palm strike. Then, he used another palm strike and turned Xian Bingzi's entire body into minced meat. Even his primordial spirit was directly smashed to death on the ground of the arena. Silence! The surroundings were as silent as death. No one expected that Xian Bingzi would be instantly killed by Ning Fan. Moreover, Ning Fan did not use any of his abilities. He just used his physical body to casually slap Xian Bingzi twice and he was already dead. It was just like a fantasy story, but it happened in reality. This brat's physical body is really terrifying. This time, even those late True Crossing Realm and peak True Crossing Realm cultivators did not dare to underestimate Ning Fan anymore. Each of them regretted rashly going up the arena to attack Ning Fan. Now that they had already gone up the arena, they would offend the Purple Robes Palace if they were to go down. Was this the feeling of riding a tiger and being unable to back down? What are you afraid of? No matter how strong this brat's body refinement is, he is just a first-stage True Crossing Realm cultivator. I will soon let him know what it means to be half a step away from the mid-shedding void realm. A ray of traveling light that was infinitely close to the mid-shedding void realm shot out from a corner of the arena and went straight towards Ning Fan. Then, that traveling light was slapped by Ning Fan. It was smashed into minced meat. An expert who was half a step away from the mid-shedding void realm was also instantly killed by a single slap. It's impossible. Even someone like me who is at the peak shedding void realm can't do this. True Lord Songzi was so shocked that his face turned pale for the first time. He realized that his decision to suppress the Black Devil sect this time might be an unprecedented mistake. It was because the Black Devil sect seemed to have gotten lucky and recruited a heaven-defying true immortal realm monster. He was only at the early True Crossing realm, but he was able to instantly kill an expert who was close to the mid-shedding void realm. What else could he be if not a monster? That's not right. This brat must have concealed his true cultivation base. His cultivation base is highly likely to be higher than mine. He is at the half-step thought-breaking realm or even the true thought-breaking realm. I give up. I give up. Seeing that even a mid-shedding void realm expert who was close to the mid-shedding void realm was instantly killed by Ning Fan with a single slap, even a fool would know that it was necessary to run away. Unfortunately, it was already a little too late to escape now. With just a thought, the great force of heaven and earth moved according to Ning Fan's will, sealing the entire arena. No one could leave the arena. Then, the participants who were watching the battle outside the arena witnessed a massacre that was rarely seen in the northern heaven. Hundreds of experts were all slapped to death by Ning Fan on the arena. Blood flowed like a river on the arena. The number of points gained from killing was less than the number of points lost? Does it matter how many points I get? Besides, Ning Fan had accidentally killed the sect master of the White Devil sect with a single slap. Since he had accidentally killed the sect master of the White Devil sect, his next step would be to kill the sect master of the Purple Robes Palace as well. Ning Fan's killing intent locked onto True Lord Songzi, who was below the arena. True Lord Songzi's entire body was drenched in cold sweat. Broken Thought Realm. This brat is definitely a Broken Thought Realm. He has shown killing intent towards me. I must leave this place. He is a Devil Lord. A true Devil Lord who doesn't care about the heavenly rules. He didn't even blink his eyes when he killed hundreds of people. At this moment, True Lord Songzi no longer had his usual arrogant attitude. He wanted to run away. However, it was already too late. Ning Fan made a grabbing motion in the air and directly dragged True Lord Songzi up the arena. Oh, you also want to go up the arena to kill me? You're very courageous. Ning Fan said mercilessly. Nonsense. You're the one who dragged me up here. I didn't come up willingly. You can't kill me. You can't. If you kill me, the ancestor of my sect who is in deep slumber will certainly not let you go. The heavenly rules won't either. True Lord Songzi trembled in fear. He could not even speak properly. However, his fear did not arouse Ning Fan's sympathy at all. Without Ning Fan's secret protection, even if Han Shichi and the others were not killed by the Purple Robes Palace, they would at least be severely injured. Those who dare to suppress the Black Devil sect must bear the consequences. Bang! With another slap, Ning Fan turned True Lord Songzi into minced meat. All the participants in the arena were speechless. Ning Fan was just too crazy. He actually killed the sect master of the Purple Robes Palace who was in charge of this regional battle. His action would certainly anger the Supreme Existence who was in deep slumber in the Purple Robes Palace. That immortal venerable would wake up and seek justice for True Lord Songzi, who is the firmament of 1,000,000,000 clear skies. It seems like I haven't appeared in this world for too long that the later generations have forgotten the terror of the Purple Robes Palace. Junior, I won't bully you. I'll give you 10 breaths of time to run. After 10 breaths of time, I will definitely kill you even if you run to the ends of the world. Don't blame me for bullying the weak. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for offending someone you can't afford to offend. As expected, at the next moment, the shadow of a coffin broke through the ground and rushed out from the depths of the Purple Robes planet. Moreover, an incomparably powerful immortal venerable chi spread out from the coffin and swept across the starry sky, causing countless people with weak cultivation bases to prostrate themselves under this immortal venerable chi. The peerless killing intent of that immortal venerable had locked onto Ning Fan. That immortal venerable had yet to show himself, but heaven and earth had already produced many strange phenomena. It was obvious that this person's abilities were extremely powerful. He was definitely not a weak immortal venerable who was at the same level as him. Unfortunately, before the coffin could rise to the highest point in the sky, before the lid of the coffin could be opened and before all the strange phenomena could be seen, Ning Fan flew into the sky with a chi sound and stopped right above the coffin. Then, he slammed his palm down on the coffin that had risen to the sky. Bang! Under the unimaginably tremendous force, a first tribulation immortal venerable inside the coffin was smashed into meat paste together with the coffin before he could even show his face. Who is the firmament of a billion clear skies? Who wants to be the firmament of that immortal venerable? Where did that immortal venerable ancient go? Why did he disappear along with the heaven-avoiding coffin? Only a pile of meat paste is left behind. Illusion technique. All of this is an illusion technique. It's fake. It's impossible for an immortal venerable ancient to be killed instantly. It's fake. The venue was in chaos. The development of the entire regional battle had completely deviated from its original trajectory. However, Ning Fan was already too lazy to care about those minor details. He only cared about one thing. This time, he had conveniently killed all the elite experts of the White Devil sect, including the current sect master of the sect. He did not know if the quasi-saint realm expert who was sleeping deep under the ground of the White Devil sect would come out of his slumber because of this matter. Forget it. It's fine no matter what happens. If worse comes to worst, he will just tear open the seal and release the soul-sucking tree to fight with the White Demon sect quasi-sage. It's not a big deal anyway. This is... Ning Fan's eyes moved and looked at a certain spot in the sky. After killing an immortal venerable of the Purple Robes Palace with a single slap, an immortal venerable Dao fruit actually appeared in this place coincidentally. After discovering the hidden danger of the immeasurable pill, the importance of Dao fruits in Ning Fan's heart skyrocketed. The only problem was that the formation rate of high-grade Dao fruits was too low. However, Ning Fan heard that there were many places in the northern heaven that had large-scale fields of Dao fruits. Perhaps I should start from this aspect and get some Dao fruits to eat. Speaking of which, he seemed to have an immortal emperor Dao fruit that he had yet to eat. It was obtained from killing an immortal emperor of a foreign race during the battle at the border river. In the past, Ning Fan had a lot of immeasurable pills and he did not care about Dao fruits. Now that he could not eat the immeasurable pill, he would eat all the Dao fruits in his hands first. If he adds the immortal emperor Dao fruit and some immortal venerables and immortal kings Dao fruits, it should be able to increase his magic power by a few hundred more tribulations. If he still had all his magic power, it would not be a big deal to have an extra few hundred more tribulations. However, right now, his magic power was only at the crossing truth realm. If he could have an extra few hundred more tribulations without any hidden danger, it would be much more convenient for him to do things. Beep, beep, beep. In the headquarters of the Four Fish sect, the starry sky crystal that was monitoring the 90-second star zone suddenly sounded a loud alarm. The person who was guarding the crystal was an old man who looked like a skinny monkey. He was originally sleepy, but after the alarm sounded, he could not fall asleep no matter what. This is really troublesome. Is it another beast tide? I wonder which star zone is the problem. The skinny monkey old man carefully looked at the starry sky crystal and his expression changed greatly. What a bold kid. He actually dares to start a massacre in the Purple Robes Palace. Even if this massacre is within the scope of the rules, isn't it too much? Moreover, he even killed the immortal venerables of the Purple Clan who were stationed in the Purple Robes Palace. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to provoke the Purple Clan? This won't do. Before the situation becomes serious, I must find this kid and turn this matter into a small matter. Chapter 1187. Ning Fan had killed hundreds of second-step immortal venerables in one fell swoop. He had even killed an immortal venerable of the 10,000 ancient era. This matter had caused a huge commotion. Thus, they had no choice but to temporarily stop the regional battles. At this moment, even a fool could see that the Black Demon sect was really lucky this time. They actually managed to recruit a super expert who could kill an ancient immortal venerable. Countless people were secretly guessing Ning Fan's true cultivation base. Since he was able to kill an immortal revered of the past 10,000 years, even if he is not an immortal emperor, he is probably a peerless expert among the immortal kings. Some people thought even more deeply. With the little wealth of the Black Demon sect, how could they ask the immortal king to take action? I can't be wrong. Ning Fan was not a guest elder that was recruited from the outside. Ning Fan's true identity was a senior cultivator of the Black Devil sect who was slumbering in the heaven-avoiding coffin. This time, he had come out of the coffin to seek justice for the Black Demon sect, who had been bullied for a long time. Despicable. It was just a regional battle between the younger generation, but the Black Demon sect had actually sent their sleeping immortal king senior to fight. This was bullying the weak. This is not fair. So what if I'm bullying the weak? Did the rules forbid this? However, the Black Devil sect actually has an old monster in hibernation. This is truly strange. This old man has never heard of such a thing. Just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Some time ago, it was revealed that the Pure Sun sect had a sleeping quasi-sage. Before this incident, even the Pure Sun sect themselves didn't know that they had a quasi-sage. I think the situation this time is more or less the same. You didn't see it. At that time, the people of the Black Devil sect were all dumbfounded. Obviously, they didn't know that there was such an immortal king old monster sleeping in their own sect. But it's still very strange. If the Black Devil sect has such an old monster in slumber, why didn't this person make a move when the Black Devil sect was being bullied in the past? As long as the world knows that the Black Devil sect has an immortal king in hibernation, who would dare to bully the Black Devil sect? Fellow Taoist, you might not know this, but it's said that there are old monsters at the Star Lord level who hate the Black Devil sect. If my guess is correct, the enemies of the Black Devil sect have never been true immortal forces. If it wasn't for the fact that the Black Demon sect had been suppressed by the Purple Dress Palace, this immortal king probably wouldn't even bother to make a move. It's the Purple Dress Palace that has gone overboard. What? There were only 28 star constellation ancient emperors in the 4C sect. Why would such a supreme existence hate the Black Demon sect? You ask me, but who should I ask? I only heard this news by chance. Who knows if it's true or not? However, it's still very strange. I've just contacted my ancestral master. He said that he has investigated the history of the Black Devil sect. In the history of this sect, there isn't a senior immortal king called Ning Fan. Besides, the Four Majestic sect seems to have never given the heaven-avoiding coffin to the Black Devil sect. How did this person fall into a deep sleep? What's so strange about that? Ning Fan's name is most likely a pseudonym. Or perhaps, the name that was recorded in the history of the Black Devil sect was not his real name. As for the heaven-evading coffin, he probably obtained it through some other means. Countless people discussed in secret. Countless people secretly used various channels to spread the news of what had happened. Ning Fan did not pay attention to those discussions. After the incident, he did not leave Purple Robe's planet. Instead, he brought the group of cultivators of the Black Devil sect back to rest. It was impossible for the Four Meridians sect to ignore such a huge matter. That was why he was waiting here. He wanted to see how the Four Meridians sect would handle this matter. Immortal venerated 10,000 Ancient was killed. Their sect master was also killed. The 20 elite experts of the sect were all killed in the arena. The Purple Robe's palace had instantly fallen to become a third-rate force. When the cultivators of the Purple Robe's palace received the cultivators of the Black Devil sect, they no longer had the arrogant attitude. Instead, each of them was very cautious. They did not dare to offend the Black Devil sect, which was guarded by an immortal king. Regarding his cultivation base and origin, Ning Fan did not explain much to the people of the Black Devil sect. He only displayed the cultivation method that only the sect master of the Black Devil sect knew, the Black Devil art. Then he went into seclusion. The reason why he went into seclusion was to consume the Dao fruit. After refining the Dao fruit, his cultivation base would improve significantly. Outside Ning Fan's room, Han Shichi and the others were beaming with joy. They were surprised that Ning Fan had actually successfully cultivated the Black Devil art. As the sect master of the Black Devil sect, the Black Devil art was a little special. It was not just a cultivation method but also the proof of one's loyalty to the Black Devil sect. It was not difficult to cultivate the Black Devil art. However, if one was not a cultivator of the Black Devil sect or if one had betrayed the sect, this cultivation method would automatically disperse and one would not be able to truly possess it. There was only one reason why Ning Fan could use the Black Devil art. He was once the sect master of the Black Devil sect. Up until now, he had not betrayed the sect. He was really one of us. There's no mistake about Senior Ning's identity. He is a member of our sect. He must be a cultivator who is in deep slumber that no one knows about. I didn't expect that our Black Devil sect would also have an expert who is in deep slumber. Our Black Devil sect will definitely rise. Alright, why don't we ask this senior to save our sect master from the lower world and bring him back to the upper world? We definitely need to ask this senior for help. However, he is currently in seclusion. We shouldn't disturb him. The heaven-evading coffin has many side effects. Senior has been out of the coffin for quite some time this time. I'm afraid he needs to recuperate for a long time. Let's not disturb him. The people of the Black Devil sect returned to their rooms to rest. In the end, only Bailey was left standing outside Ning Fan's room. Her beautiful eyes were filled with worry. All the cultivators of the Black Devil sect believed Ning Fan's identity. They believed that he was an old senior of the Black Devil sect who had been in deep slumber for many years. However, she did not believe it. In the past, she had witnessed Ning Fan attaining the divine transformation realm with her own eyes. It had only been a few hundred years since then. To advance from the deity transformation stage to the immortal king stage in just a few hundred years, even with the help of a treasure that could alter time, it was still impossible. Could it be that young Master Ning's cultivation was not obtained through his own cultivation, but he had obtained some sort of cultivation inheritance that allowed his cultivation to soar to the immortal king realm? I have heard from my master that there are several methods that can raise one's cultivation level so quickly. All of these methods cost a lot of resources. Even some immortal emperors can't afford it. Not only will the immortal king's foundation be completely destroyed, but it will also be difficult for him to improve his cultivation level. He will also lose the qualification to live forever. After the immortal king is enlightened, he will die within 1,000 years. There's another possibility. Young Master Ning has already died a long time ago. He died after being possessed by some immortal king realm old monster. That's why he revealed his immortal king realm cultivation. It's also because of this that he couldn't recognize me in the beginning and needed to search through his memories to confirm who I am. The more Bailey thought about it, the more confused she became. Neither situation was what she hoped for. She waited outside Ning Fan's room for a whole month. 1 month later, Ning Fan came out from his seclusion. His magic power had increased to 14,200 tribulations. He had gained 500 tribulation energy. It was extremely difficult to increase one's magic power after 10,000 tribulations. The Tao fruits of immortal venerables and immortal kings had a very weak effect on increasing one's magic power at this level. More than 20 Tao fruits could only increase his magic power by less than 10 tribulations. On the other hand, the immortal Emperor Tao fruit had increased Ning Fan's magic power by 500 tribulations, which really surprised him. He did not expect that the immortal Emperor Tao fruit would actually have such a significant effect after attaining 10,000 tribulations of magic power. It seems like I really should look for more immortal Emperor Tao fruits to increase my cultivation level in the future. After using the Tao fruits to increase his cultivation level, he had gone through multiple soul sealing techniques to ensure that there were no hidden dangers in his cultivation level. As a result, the magic power that Ning Fan could use without any hidden dangers had increased to 500 tribulations in one go, reaching the level of a newly advanced immortal venerable. Miss, are you waiting for me here? As soon as Ning Fan walked out of the room, he saw Bailey. He was slightly surprised and then burst into laughter. He had forgotten that he had promised Bailey that he would help her get rid of the scheme in her body. It seems like the reason why Bailey was waiting here was because of this matter. Bailey wanted to say something but hesitated. After a long time, she bit her lips and asked with concern. Young Master Ning, tell me honestly, did you use a secret technique to forcefully increase your cultivation level? Are you worried about me? Ning Fan was surprised. Young master, don't think too much. I'm just asking casually. Hee hee. It's reasonable for you to be curious. After all, in your opinion, it has only been a few hundred years since we first met. But in reality, I have been cultivating alone for more than 100,000 years with the help of some secret treasures. With my innate potential and some fortuitous encounters, is it really strange for me to reach my current cultivation level in just a few 100,000 years? Ning Fan said with a smile. Young master's innate potential is peerless. If you have some fortuitous encounters, it's not impossible for you to reach the immortal king realm in just a few 100,000 years. An immortal king realm in just a few 100,000 years of age. If this news spreads out, it will be enough to shock the entire Dharma ending era. Young master is really a heaven-sent genius. In that case, young master isn't possessed by someone, right? That's good. Bei Li's heart was filled with joy and she heaved a sigh of relief. Possessed by someone? Why is a girl's head filled with all sorts of strange things? Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Suddenly, he thought of what happened to Kei Shensi in the past and remained silent. Things like possession were indeed very common in the cultivation world. It was no wonder that Bei Li would ask about it. Ning Fan was very grateful for Bei Li's concern. Because of that, he became more serious when treating this lady. Ning Fan brought Bei Li back to the house. After a round of treatment, he took out a water blue goo insect from the lines on her palm. The body of the insect changed between real and illusory. It looked very strange. The appearance of the goo insect was very sticky and soft. When Bei Li thought that it had been hiding in her body for a long time, she felt disgusted. This is the water transformation insect. It grows and reproduces by absorbing the magic power of the water element. Judging from the patterns on the insect, this insect has been hiding in your body for several months and it's close to the breeding period. If you discover it a few months later, it will really enter the breeding period and lay eggs in your body. At that time, if you want to get rid of this insect, you will need to abolish your cultivation base to get rid of all the eggs. Ning Fan explained. He did not know much about goo insects, but he had been to too many places. Naturally, he had seen a lot of rare insects. Coincidentally, he recognized the water transformation insect. When Bei Li thought that this insect would lay eggs in her body a few months later, she felt nauseous and uncomfortable. The Great Elders faction actually used such a disgusting method to scheme against her. It was really too vicious. Thank you for your help this time, young master. Bei Li has nothing to repay you. If you need my help in the future, just let me know. It's just a small matter. After this insect is removed, the host will have a period of weakness. Miss, don't go out these few days and rest more. I also feel a little dizzy and tired. I want to go back and rest for a while. In that case, I won't disturb young master anymore. By the way, young master, you have to be careful. I received news that the four mysterious sect has already sent people to deal with this matter because the matter you caused was too big. Bei Li got the news from the Lost World Palace. She should not tell Ning Fan about such top-secret information, but she still told him anyway. Of course, she did not know much about it. She only knew that the four mysterious sect would send people to deal with this matter. As for who exactly they would send, she did not know. Neither did she know how they would deal with this matter. After sending Bei Li off, Ning Fan suddenly went to the courtyard. He looked at the empty place in the courtyard and said, "You've been here for 27 days. But are you still not going to show yourself?" As soon as Ning Fan's words fell, a soft exclamation came from a place in the courtyard where there was no one around. Then, a gentle breeze blew past and turned into an old man who looked like a skinny monkey. When he appeared, he flicked his sleeve and the surrounding heaven and earth changed under the strong wind. Ning Fan felt his vision blurred. In the next moment, he was already forcefully locked into a gray world by the skinny monkey old man. This skinny monkey old man was actually a quasi-saint realm expert. This world was filled with the massive Tao law of wind. This is the palm void of the wind palm position. No, that's not right. It's similar to the palm void, but it's different. Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly solemn. Even though Ning Fan had sealed his magic power, Not every quasi-saint realm expert could subdue him with a single move. However, this skinny monkey old man was able to forcefully lock him into this world. What he used was definitely not some ordinary method, but a method similar to the palm void. What an interesting little fellow. You're obviously just an immortal king, but you can see through the traces of my wind body and even see through the mysteries of this world. However, it's a pity that you're still wrong about one thing. This place isn't the palm void that you think it is, but a titled void. Titled void, huh? Why did you attack me? Ning Fan asked calmly. The reason for his calmness was that he did not sense any killing intent from this skinny monkey old man. He could hear the voices of all living beings. Therefore, he could easily sense the kindness and malice of others. You still have the cheek to ask. The old man glared at Ning Fan and continued. Little friend, do you know how many heavenly laws you violated during the regional battle? It's not a big deal for you to kill those hundreds of participants. However, you've also killed the Purple Robes Palace's sect master and the Purple Robes Palace's immortal venerables. Both of them did not participate in the arena battle. If we really pursue this matter, you've at least committed a grave crime that's above the 19th level. I've received the favor of Divine Master Nangong of the Two Rights sect. I know that your Black Devil sect is the orthodox lineage of the Two Rights sect. It wasn't easy for an immortal king like you to emerge from the Black Devil sect. I really can't bear to see you get your cultivation base crippled and fall to the lower world. That's why I came here to save you. Next, I'll bring you to the Purple Clan to apologize to the people of the Purple Clan. We'll turn a big problem into a small one and a small one into nothing. Purple Clan? It seems like you really don't know about it. The Purple Robes Palace is backed by the Purple Clan. It's a small matter that you killed the Purple Robes Palace's venerables. To people at my level, violating the heavenly laws isn't a big deal. However, offending the Purple Clan is too serious. If the Purple Clan uses the heavenly laws to punish you, even I won't be able to protect you. The foundation of a secret clan is not something you can imagine, especially the secret clan of the Northern Heaven. The strength of their foundation is not something the secret clans of the other three heavens can compare with, the elderly man said with great fear. So, Ning Fan frowned. When he killed the people of the Purple Robes Palace, he did not know that the Purple Robes Palace actually had the support of a secret clan. In that case, killing the people of the Purple Robes Palace might cause him to become enemies with the Purple Clan. This was not his original intention. That's why I'll bring you to the Purple Clan to apologize to them. Thank you for your kindness, Senior. However, I don't think I've done anything wrong. That's why I don't want to apologize to anyone. Ning Fan remained silent for a while. In the end, he still shook his head and rejected the elderly man's kindness. Ning Fan could see that the reason why this quasi-saint realm expert of the Four Majestic sect came to him was just to be a mediator. He did not have any ill intentions. When he killed the people of the Purple Robes Palace just now, Ning Fan did not know that the Purple Clan was behind the Purple Robes Palace. No one would be willing to offend a secret clan for no reason. However, Ning Fan did not think that he did anything wrong by protecting the Black Devil sect. It was the people of the Purple Robes Palace who were in the wrong first. They had repeatedly bullied the Black Devil sect. What Ning Fan did was just a form of retaliation. Even if he knew that this matter might offend the Purple Clan, he would still not let any of the people who deserved to be killed go. If the Purple Clan was reasonable, they would naturally not blame him. However, if they were unreasonable, then there was even less of a need for him to lower his head and apologize to them. What an interesting little fellow. After hearing the great name of the Purple Clan, you actually remained unmoved. I really don't know if I should say that you have a backbone or should I say that you are ignorant. But in order to save your life and leave a precious immortal king realm expert for the Black Devil sect, even if I have to capture you today, I will bring you to the Purple Clan to apologize to them. The domineering nature of the Purple Clan is not something you can imagine. Young man, you must remember that in this world, you have to lower your head when you need to. If you are too strong, you will only be broken by the wind. The titled weapon appear. The elderly man clasped his hands together. Suddenly, a violent gust of wind blew between heaven and earth. Amidst the fierce wind, a green wind pouch that was as large as a mountain suddenly appeared. The pouch opened and emitted a strong gust of wind in Ning Fan's direction. It was trying to suck Ning Fan into the pouch. Mid-grade innate magic treasure? No, this treasure isn't tangible. A sense of danger suddenly appeared in Ning Fan's heart. Almost at the moment he saw the wind pouch, his entire body turned into a ray of light and flew a great distance away in an instant, evading the attack range of the wind pouch. Ning Fan's speed of evading was extremely fast, and the distance he could cover was also very far. However, the ability of the wind pouch seemed to be able to ignore the distance between space and time. No matter where Ning Fan escaped to, it would still be able to capture him. It was extremely strange. Gray light erupted between heaven and earth. In the next moment, Ning Fan, who had already escaped, was forcibly sucked into the pouch despite the distance between space and time. He was actually caught by the skinny and monkey-like elderly man in just a single move. This skinny and monkey-like elderly man was obviously a top expert among the first-level quasi-saints. After the wind pouch caught Ning Fan, it flew back to the skinny and monkey-like elderly man's hand and returned to its original form. It was a gray pouch the size of a palm. Inside the pouch, Ning Fan tried to break free. Unfortunately, it was useless. With the amount of magic power he could use now, he would not be able to break free from the wind pouch without using some special methods. Not bad, little fellow. The extreme speed of escaping in an instant is not much weaker than my wind escape divine movement technique. Unfortunately, my wind master pouch is a little special. No matter how fast you run or how far you go, as long as there is wind at the place where you stand, I can use the wind to suck you back into the pouch. Once you are sucked into the pouch, you won't be able to escape unless you have the cultivation base of a quasi-saint. Little fellow, you better accept your fate and follow me to the Purple Clan. I guarantee that as long as you lower your head and apologize to the Purple Clan, I will certainly protect your life. I won't let anyone hurt you. What? While the skinny and monkey-like elderly man was persuading the wind pouch, his expression suddenly changed. To his surprise, the wind pouch that was perfectly fine was suddenly pierced by countless thorns. A large number of thorns pierced through the pouch and forcefully grew out. Those were not ordinary thorns. With the experience of the skinny monkey-like old man, he recognized at a glance that these thorns were very similar to the ghost flower of the netherworld mentioned in an ancient book. Could it be? This kid was actually the legendary ghost flowers contractor. Not good. Bang. More branches pierced through the windbag and forcefully grew out. It was a branch of the soul-sucking tree. Countless sage-to-be attacks were unleashed from the windbag. In the end, the windbag could no longer bear the burden and was finally destroyed by the soul-sucking tree, turning into countless pieces of cloth. Then, the pieces of cloth turned into a cool breeze and dissipated. Ning Fan stood on the soul-sucking trent's shoulder and fought his way out of the windbag. Unbelievable! You're just a little celestial king, yet you have a sage-to-be indestructible ghost soldier. The skinny old man said with a wry smile. I know that Senior came here with good intentions. However, I hope that Senior will not interfere in the matter between me and the Purple Clan. Ning Fan said. The skinny monkey-like old man looked at Ning Fan deeply and suddenly laughed. Good. Divine Teacher Nangong finally had a successor. The Heaven and Earth sect finally had a successor. You very good. I won't interfere in the matter between you and the Purple Clan anymore. As for the heavenly rules that you violated in the regional battle, I will take care of it for you. However, don't do it again. The heavenly rules are the heavenly rules. Before you truly reach my level, it's better for you not to violate them in the future if you can. It was still the tone of a senior talking to a junior. As a matter of fact, this skinny monkey-like old man could be considered as the registered disciple of that divine teacher Nangong. He was an elder of the Heaven and Earth sect. Since the Heaven and Earth sect was the predecessor of the Black Devil sect, this skinny monkey-like old man was indeed Ning Fan Sr. The Black Devil sect had a tradition of shielding its members. This tradition had actually existed since the era of the Heaven and Earth sect and had been passed down until the era of the Black Devil sect. If it wasn't because of this relationship and this tradition, this skinny monkey-like old man would certainly not come to trouble himself by meddling in the matter between Ning Fan and the Purple Clan with the fear of quasi-saints. Senior, are you going to open the titled void space and let me out, or are you going to wait for me to break the void space and walk out by myself? Ning Fan's tone was very polite. However, this kind of politeness carried a sense of alienation. Obviously, Ning Fan did not have a good impression of this kind of senior who came to his door to capture him. What an interesting kid. What kind of tone is that? Are you angry at me? Are you blaming me for wanting to capture you as soon as I come to your door? The skinny monkey-like old man was stunned for a moment. Then he burst into laughter. You have character. Just to my liking. No wonder you don't like me. It's impossible for you to have a good impression of anyone who wants to capture you as soon as they meet. If you are grateful to me, I will blame you for being hypocritical. According to the tradition of my heaven and earth sect, you have to compensate for your wrongdoings. Even as a senior, there is no exception. No matter what, I have already attacked you. As for compensation, I will give it to you later. However, I have something to discuss with that old thing, Jibing. Let's put the matter of compensation aside for now. As he spoke, the old man's originally lazy gaze suddenly sharpened. He made a grabbing motion with his hand, and a gust of wind suddenly appeared. Countless small ice shards that looked like hail were caught by the gust of wind and ruthlessly crushed. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. However, it was not because of the ice shards. As a matter of fact, he had already noticed the existence of these ice shards a long time ago. He could tell that it was a kind of sensing secret technique that was similar to the heavenly peering rain technique. Ning Fan could even sense who was using these ice shards to monitor him. It was the sleeping quasi-sage of the White Demon sect. Ever since Ning Fan caused a commotion in the regional battle, the White Devil sect's quasi-saints began to secretly observe him. What surprised Ning Fan was that the skinny monkey-like elderly man would actually break the ice shards. Isn't he afraid of becoming enemies with the White Devil sect's quasi-saints? Extreme ice. This old man doesn't care how you plot against the Black Demon sect's sect leader token. However, this child is the legitimate successor of my Yin and Yang sect. If you dare to harm him, you will be making an enemy of me, Lei. Bear the consequences. It seemed like a threat, but also a warning. At the same time, the slumbering extreme ice exalted immortal in the White Demon sect suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Old dog Lazy, how dare you? How dare you meddle in the business of my Yin and Yang sect? Do you really think that you are a disciple of the sect just because you became the nominal disciple of divine sage Nangong in the past? You are an outsider. You are just an outsider. Bullshit tradition of the Yin and Yang sect. Do you think it is your turn? Do you think you are invincible just because you have the title of Wind Master? This debt, this immortal will remember. Just you wait. Just you wait. Extreme Ice exalted immortal said with hatred. All right, the annoying flies have been driven away. Come with me to a place. I will give you some gifts as compensation. Old Ancestor Lei Zhe said with a smile. I'm not going. Ning Fan shook his head. He was not interested in the compensation from Old Ancestor Lei Zhe at all. Are you really not going? There are quite a lot of materials there. I can use them to create undying ghost soldiers. Where is it? Ning Fan's eyes flickered. Obviously, he was very interested in the place that Old Ancestor Lei Zhe mentioned. The forbidden area of the Light Clan. Are you going or not? Ning Fan was speechless. Is the forbidden area of a clan a place where an outsider like me can go as I please? He had already offended the members of the Purple Robe Palace by killing them. What if he offends the Light Clan again if he goes to the forbidden area of the Light Clan? He was not afraid of trouble, but he did not want to cause trouble for no reason either. I know what you are worried about. Don't worry. There are some changes in the forbidden area of the Light Clan. There are plenty of ferocious creatures in there that can be killed. There are as many materials as you want to create an undying ghost soldier. After you go there, you can kill all the ferocious creatures as you please. Not only will you not offend the Light Clan, you will also gain their favor. Those ferocious creatures are a huge headache for the Light Clan. I'm not going. Ning Fan did not trust old ancestor Lei Zhe at all. What if he goes to the forbidden area of the Light Clan and gets schemed against by old ancestor Lei Zhe? What if he becomes the sworn enemy of the Light Clan? He was not familiar with Northern Heaven at all. He could not help but think of the ugly side of people's hearts. All right. Since you don't want to go, I won't force you. You are the one who doesn't want to compensate me. Don't blame me for going against the tradition of the Heaven and Earth sect. Initially, I was planning to help you kill some ferocious creatures to create a second quasi-holy level ghost soldier. Old ancestor Lei Zhe purposely emphasized the words quasi-holy level ghost soldier. Unfortunately, Ning Fan was still unmoved. If he wants other quasi-holy level ghost soldiers, he can do it himself instead of asking a person whom he had only met once to do it for him. Forget it, forget it. You win. Why are you so vigilant? Am I that untrustworthy? Do you want to go or not? Old ancestor Lei Zhe could not be bothered with Ning Fan anymore. He released the sealed void and the two of them returned to the outside world, appearing in the courtyard. Just as old ancestor Lei Zhe was planning to leave this place and return to the headquarters of the Four Fish sect, an alarm suddenly rang from his storage pouch. Beep, beep, beep. What a headache. Did something happen again? Old ancestor Lei Zhe took out the replica of the starry sky crystal that he always carried with him. After taking a casual glance at it, he exclaimed softly. Things were just so coincidental. Just a moment ago, he had just mentioned the forbidden area of the Light Clan to Ning Fan and at the next moment, something happened there. Beep beep beep. Another message transmitting Jade token rang. Old ancestor Lei Zhe felt a headache coming on. Without even looking, he already knew who was contacting him. Only the leader of the Four Fish sect, the ancient Reaching Heaven Emperor, knew about this message transmitting Jade token. Old ancestor Lei Zhe opened the Jade token lazily without bothering to hide it from Ning Fan. Then, Ning Fan heard the voice of the ancient Reaching Heaven Emperor from the Jade token. Old Lei, I've encountered some trouble. Both Old Hua and Old Shi are guarding the Boundary River. Only you can handle this matter. I'm not going. I'm not a servant of the Light Clan. Why should I go when something happened to their forbidden area? Old ancestor Lei Zhe's tone was very willful. He did not give the ancient Reaching Heaven Emperor any face. All the quasi-saints of the Light Clan are participating in the battle in the Boundary River. There are only some immortal emperors in the clan. The lowest level of the Light Ancestor Earth Abyss is not a place that ordinary immortal emperors can enter. Old Lei, only you can handle this matter. If you don't go, those who are trapped in the abyss will be in big trouble. That little girl who resonated with the Stone Warrior 8 formations is also there. The ancient Reaching Heaven Emperor said with difficulty. What? The fourth mistress of the Lost World Palace is also there. This is really a headache. The Stone Warrior 8 formations is the foundation of my Northern Heaven. The importance of this girl is self-evident. If something happens to her in the Light Ancestor Earth Abyss, it seems like I really have to make a trip there. Hee. With Old Lei's help, I can rest assured about this matter. After hanging up the Jade token, Old Ancestor Lei Zhe showed a serious expression that was rarely seen. He planned to pay a visit to the Light Clan. The fourth mistress of the Lost World Palace had a rather special identity. In the past, when she encountered difficulties, he would always lend a helping hand. Similarly, when some of the geniuses of the Northern Heaven who also had a special identity were in trouble, he would basically be the one who saved them. If Ning Fan did not interfere in this matter, this incident would just be an ordinary case of saving lives that had happened countless times before. However, because this matter was related to the fourth mistress of the Lost World Palace, it was impossible for Ning Fan not to get involved. The fourth mistress of the Lost World Palace was none other than Bei Xiaoman. Senior, do you have the star map of the Light Clan? Give me a copy. I will bring you to the Light Clan. Ning Fan asked with a frown. You've thought it through? Are you planning to go to the Light Clan to create undying ghost soldiers? Unfortunately, there are some problems in the forbidden area of the Light Clan. It's very dangerous. It's not suitable for me to bring you there to create ghost soldiers for now. My speed is faster than yours. I will bring you to the Light Clan to save time. It doesn't matter whether I create ghost soldiers or not. Let's go and save the others first. Ning Fan explained. What? You said your speed is faster than mine. That's impossible. Wind cultivators are best at speed. How can you be faster than the wind count of this generation? I don't believe it. Thus, old ancestor Lei Zhe, who refused to believe it, told Ning Fan the location of the Light Clan. In just 10 breaths, Ning Fan brought old ancestor Lei Zhe across millions of galaxies and arrived at the Light Clan. 6 teleportation portals. Ning Fan's original creation. The fastest teleportation. What? This is the devil voice of an ancient devil. That's not right. This is the teleportation technique that you created yourself. It's too fast. Even if it's the devil voice of an ancient devil, it won't be able to travel this far in 10 breaths. It would at least take tens of breaths. Kid, are you really an immortal king? Old ancestor Lei Zhe was deeply shocked. Ning Fan did not explain further to old ancestor Lei Zhe. He did not even bother to ask for old ancestor Lei Zhe's name. With Ning Fan's Tao of divination cultivation base that was improving day by day, if Bei Xiaoman's life was really in danger, he would have a sudden impulse or even directly use samsara to predict her future. Since there was no such reaction, it meant that Bei Xiaoman would not be in any life-threatening danger during this trip. Besides, with old ancestor Lei Zhe, a quasi-saint realm expert, it would not matter even if he did not care about Bei Xiaoman. She would be saved eventually. However, since he had already heard that Bei Xiaoman was in trouble, how could Ning Fan just sit by and do nothing? He did not know what had happened in the forbidden area of the Light Clan. However, if the ferocious creatures there dared to hurt Bei Xiaoman, he would not mind slaughtering all of them. Hey, little fellow, you are revealing your killing intent. This is the Light Clan. Are you trying to deceive me into bringing you here to slaughter the Light Clan with such strong killing intent? Yes, you must have heard the conversation between me and Tong Tian and found out that the Light Clan doesn't have a quasi-saint realm expert now. Little fellow, I'm warning you. Countless members of the Light Clan have died in the battle at the North Border River. Even if you are my junior and the inheritor of the Two-Form sect, I will never allow you to harm the Light Clan. Old ancestor Lei Zhe said with a serious expression. You think too much. Even though Ning Fan was too lazy to care about old ancestor Lei Zhe, he did not want to cause too many misunderstandings either. Almost at the same time when the two of them appeared, tens of cultivators of the Light Clan gathered in their direction. When they saw that it was old ancestor Lei Zhe, they were overjoyed. It's old Lei. He has come to help us guard the Earth Abyss again. That's great. Cut the crap. Quickly lead the way. Which entrance of the Earth Abyss is the problem this time? Old ancestor Lei Zhe harumphed coldly and asked with a concerned tone. At this moment, Ning Fan finally had a good impression of old ancestor Lei Zhe after witnessing his cold exterior but warm interior. It's the entrance of the Earth Abyss in this direction. Before the members of the Light Clan could answer, Ning Fan already answered. His sense of rain was too powerful. The moment he arrived, he had already dispersed the curtain of rain. He had already appeared in this place for more than 10 breaths. This amount of time was enough for him to find out a lot of things. Brat, don't talk nonsense. The seal of the entrance of the Earth Abyss is extremely powerful. We can't sense what's happening inside at all from the outside. Even a quasi-saint like me can't sense it. How could you possibly sense it? Old ancestor Lei Zhe scolded Ning Fan in a bad mood. However, at the next moment, the cultivators of the Light Clan slapped their faces. Old Lei, you've wronged this fellow Taoist. There's indeed something wrong with the entrance of the Earth Abyss in this direction. This fellow Taoist is actually summoning the devil cavity of an ancient devil. Where did he go? What exactly is his identity? The seal has sensed something. Someone ignored the seal and directly entered the interior of the Earth Abyss. Could it be that fellow Taoist? He ignored those cultivators of the Light Clan. Once he confirmed that something was wrong with the Earth Abyss, Ning Fan directly activated the 6 teleportation portals. He ignored the seal of the Earth Abyss and directly teleported to the interior of the Earth Abyss. What he did not know was that his actions had shocked old Ancestor Lei Zhe once again. The seal of Ancestor Lei Zhe's Earth Abyss is something that even I, a quasi-saint who is half a step away from attaining the 2nd level of the Light Clan, can't ignore. This young man can actually ignore the seal. What level of teleportation technique did he actually invent? It's too scary. Without much delay, old Ancestor Lei Zhe followed closely behind Ning Fan. With the help of the cultivators of the Light Clan, he passed through the layers of seals and entered the Earth Abyss. When he successfully passed through the hundreds of layers of the Earth Abyss seal, it had already been 1 hour since Ning Fan entered the Earth Abyss. Ning Fan was already 1 step ahead of him. No one knew where in the Earth Abyss he was. Chapter 1188. The Light Ancestor Earth Abyss was a land of extreme fire, and also a land of extreme day. Flames surged in the air, and the earth emitted light as the boundless Fusang forest grew. The light here grew endlessly, causing the underground to be as bright as day. There was no night. As the Light Clan's forbidden land, the Light Ancestors Abyss had an extremely complicated and dangerous environment. Countless ancient formations had been left behind. If one didn't have the cultivation of a saint, it would be impossible to charge around in the Earth Abyss. This was because no one could tell which ray of light or which wisp of flame was disguised by a supreme restriction. If one accidentally bumped into it, they would either die or be injured. Even someone as strong as Ning Fan had to move forward cautiously after entering this place. He did not dare to fly too fast. He had to carefully examine the surrounding restrictions, and even more so, he had to pay attention to a kind of vicious creature unique to this place, the light ant. It was a kind of ant that was as large as a calf. Its body was transparent and completely made of light. It had short wings and could crawl or fly. This kind of light ant usually appeared in groups. Their individual cultivation was not high, but they were very good at fusing attacks and could not be underestimated. Ning Fan had just flown several tens of thousands of li in the Earth Abyss, and he had already encountered a few attacks from the light ants. At this moment, there were another 40+ light ants blocking his way. This time, most of the light ants that appeared were just at the void fragmentation realm. However, when more than 40 of them turned into rays of light and fused together, a human profound realm light ant appeared in front of Ning Fan. This. The human profound light ant spat out 3 light bullets at Ning Fan consecutively. If it was a human profound realm cultivator, he would certainly be extremely afraid of such a situation. However, Ning Fan was naturally not afraid of this light ant. With a flick of his sleeve, the light bullets that were flying towards him were absorbed into his sleeve and vanished without a sound. Then he casually threw out a tribulation flash. The human black light ant let out a miserable shriek and was killed by Ning Fan. These light ants seem to be the thing that gives the light race a headache. Ning Fan knitted his brows. Almost as soon as he arrived at the Light Clan, he directly entered the Light Ancestors' Earth Abyss. Even though he had spread out his rain sense before, he did not purposely gather information in the Light Clan. When he spread out his divine consciousness, he heard some light race clansmen discussing the problem of the light ants in the abyss. Now that he saw these light ants, he naturally had some guesses. Ning Fan's eyes moved slightly. At the place where the human profound light ant had fallen, the scattered light suddenly gathered and formed a tattered light pearl. This kind of light pearl was called the light ant inner elixir by the cultivators of the Light Clan. It was something similar to a Dao fruit. After eating it, it could directly increase one's cultivation. It seemed that the cultivators of the Light Clan had come to the Earth Abyss for training because they wanted to hunt for these inner cores. Along the way, Ning Fan had killed quite a number of light ants. However, it was his first time getting an inner core. It was obvious that the probability of producing an inner core was not high, which was similar to the Dao fruit. This was a human profound inner core, but its classification was not just based on the human profound inner core. It seemed like in the Light Clan, there were different grades of inner cores such as damaged inner cores and outstanding inner cores. Ning Fan did not know much about them and he was not interested in them either. After casually keeping the inner core into his storage pouch, Ning Fan continued to move forward. His rain sense tried to explore deeper into the abyss. Unfortunately, his rain sense could not spread too far. The interior of the Light Ancestor Earth abyss had too great of a restriction on spirit sense and senses. It could not be helped. Ning Fan had no choice but to use the power of the treasure-searching compass to sense this place. According to the treasure-searching compass, there were a total of 12 levels in this abyss. Each level was a region with different landforms. The area that Ning Fan was currently in was just the first level. Bei Xiaoman was not on this level. Instead, she was in a lower level. Help! Help! After walking for an unknown period of time, a cry for help suddenly came from the front, causing Ning Fan's footsteps to slow down. To his surprise, on the ground in front of him, there were 4 steeds that were burning with golden flames pulling a golden chariot, running for their lives. Behind the chariot, there were 600 to 700 light ants that were the size of calves. Their eyes glinted with ferocious light as they chased after the chariot. Each of those light ants had a cultivation base above the void fragmentation realm. There were 5 life immortal light ants and 1 true light ant. On the chariot, there were more than 10 young men who came here to train. When they were suddenly chased by 600 to 700 light ants, these inexperienced young men were almost scared to death. They were either the descendants of the Tao children of the ancient sects or the direct descendants of the ancient monsters. Each of them had a great background. They came here to train, but they did not expect that the light ant hunting event that happened once every 10,000 years would actually happen in advance. Brother, are we going to die here? Father clearly said that the light ant hunting event would only happen once every 10,000 years, but this time, the light ant hunting event actually happened 6,000 years earlier than the scheduled time. If it was during normal times, most of the light ants would need to hibernate. Naturally, they would not take the initiative to attack us. We only need to find some small ant nests and dig out some light ants to kill. But this time, we actually encountered the light ant hunting event. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Inside the chariot, a young girl who was inexperienced cried out in fear of the light ants chasing after her. She pulled her brother's sleeve and held on tightly, shivering in fear. Her name was Lin Qingyue. She was the first young lady of the Lin family. The young man that she called brother was the eldest son of the Lin family, the eldest young master. At the same time, he was also the one with the highest cultivation among the 10 or so Northern Sky youths. He was half a step into the human profound realm. But even with this little cultivation, he could only feel powerless against the pursuit of the light ant army. Don't cry. You must calm down. The chariot that we are riding on is the sun chariot that we rented from the Light Clan. This chariot uses light as its driving force. As long as there is light in the surroundings, it can move without stopping. This chariot speed is extremely fast and its defense is also strong. We can continue to use this chariot to escape and wait for the Light Clan to come to our rescue. Young Master Lin forced himself to calm down and comforted his sister. But in the next moment, he could no longer remain calm. Boom! A light bullet with the power of space hit the chariot. The chariot was attacked by the light ants again. While escaping, the chariot had already been attacked by the light ants countless times. But because the defense of the sun chariot was extremely strong, it could almost ignore all attacks below the late stage of crossing truth. The light bullets from before did not cause much damage to the sun chariot. But the attack this time was different. The sun chariot actually had a hole in it. This time, the light bullets actually reached the power of space rend. Not good. Those light ants have fused. That crossing truth light ant has fused with the other light ants and turned into a space rend light ant. Young Master Lin's expression finally changed drastically. The space rend light ant was enough to easily destroy this sun chariot. Once the chariot was destroyed, their lives would be in danger. Hiss hiss hiss. More light bullets were shot out by the space rend light ant. The sun chariot was completely destroyed. The group of Northern Sky youths fell to the ground with their faces covered in dirt. They could only watch as the space-rend light ant that was the size of a small mountain approached them while drooling. The thing that light ants loved to eat the most during their hunting period was meat. They would be eaten. "No, don't eat me." Lin Qingyue was actually so scared that her pants were wet. She fell to the ground and could not even stand up. She had never experienced life and death before. Her clan had protected her too well. She had a void fragmentation cultivation, but she simply did not have the courage to match it. Just when she thought that she was going to die for sure, a scarlet pillar of light suddenly descended from the sky and turned the dignified space-rend light ant into dust in one move. How powerful! It was like a miracle. Lin Qingyue raised her head in a daze. What she saw was a young man in white robes with peerless elegance. He stood in the air like an unrivaled god. He killed the space-rend light ant with just a single move. This person is at least Senior Nian Xian. The group of Northern Sky youths who had just survived the calamity were pleasantly surprised. All of them knelt on the ground and thanked Ning Fan profusely. Lin Qingyue was the only one who had yet to recover from the shock. She was in a daze and forgot to thank him. "Sister, quickly thank Senior. You're being too rude." Her elder brother reprimanded her in a low voice. Lin Qingyue panicked. Only then did she realize what had happened. Her mouth was agape and she was tongue-tied. She wanted to thank Ning Fan, but after hearing Ning Fan's words, she naturally did not dare to interrupt him. Thus, she swallowed all of her gratitude. "Do you have a map of the Earth Abyss?" Ning Fan landed on the ground and asked young Master Lin, who was the leader of the group. He did not care whether others thanked him or not. "The map is here. If Senior needs it, you can take it." Young Master Lin respectfully handed over a copy of the map. He had bought this map from the Light Clan at a high price. Ning Fan scanned it with his spirit sense and instantly made a copy of the map. He returned the original copy to young Master Lin and turned to leave. However, after taking a few steps, Ning Fan suddenly paused and looked at Lin Qingyue with a strange expression. He seemed to have sensed something. It was a very strange feeling. This young lady gave him an indescribable feeling. The last time he had this kind of feeling was when he met Si Ingyue and Su Manue by chance. "What's your name?" Ning Fan asked with a frown. "My name is Lin Qingyue." Lin Qingyue's face immediately turned red when an unfamiliar man asked for her name. "Lin Qingyue? Why do you have this name?" Ning Fan's frown deepened. Replying to Senior's question, "This is the name that my mother gave me. My mother said that people have sorrows and joys. The moon has waxing and waning, 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 waxing and waning and waning, waxing and waning. Fan was not asking about the reason why she had this name. He was asking about something else. Si Ingyue, Su Manue, and then Lin Qingyue. Ning Fan seemed to be able to sense some kind of extremely close karma from Lin Qingyue. However, it also felt like it was just an illusion. "I will draw a circle on the ground. You guys stay inside the circle and don't come out. I can guarantee your safety. Someone will come and save you later." The purpose of this trip was to save Bei Xiaoman. Ning Fan did not really want to pay attention to this young lady called Lin Qingyue. It was even more impossible for him to stay here and protect these people. Just like how he treated Si Ingyue and Su Manue, Ning Fan quietly left a trace of spirit sense in Lin Qingyue's body. Then, he drew a circle of rain on the ground with the power of the yin-yang rain, encircling all the young elites of the northern sky. Then he left. Seeing Ning Fan's departure, Lin Qingyue's beautiful eyes dimmed. She actually felt an indescribable sense of loss. She did not know why, but it felt like a reunion that she had been waiting for countless eras to pass by. On the other hand, some of the young elites of the Northern Sky who were led by young Master Lin heaved a sigh of relief after Ning Fan left. The pressure they felt when they were in front of Ning Fan was too great. "Do any of you know who this senior is?" He actually asked Brother Lin for a map. It seems like he isn't a member of the Light Clan but a cultivator who came from the outside world. He should be someone sent by the four profound sects to deal with the light ants. Terrifying. This is too terrifying. I initially thought that this senior is a thought-shattering realm cultivator, but it turns out that he isn't. Look at the circle. This is definitely a circle drawn by someone who is close to the sovereign realm. As long as we stay inside the circle, even the thought-shattering light ants won't be able to break the circle easily and hurt us. He's actually close to the sovereign realm. Could it be that this senior is a great sovereign of the Northern Sky who has been living in seclusion? He's too strong. All the youths were extremely excited. Their admiration for this mysterious senior had already been gushing out endlessly while they were still in the circle. Ning Fan had entered the underground abyss in a hurry. He was confident in his rain technique. However, after entering this place, he realized that he still needed a map. With a map, he would be able to choose the fastest route to get to where Bei Xiaoman was. As for saving the other young elites of the Northern Sky who came here to train, did it have anything to do with him? If he met them, it would be fate and he could save them. If he didn't, it would be fate. Since they dared to come here to train, they needed to be responsible for their actions and be aware that they might die. So this Light Ancestor Earth Abyss is the birthplace of the Light Clan. There are 12 levels in the Earth Abyss. Each level used to have an ancient immortal kingdom. In ancient times, the 12 immortal kingdoms formed an alliance and formed a clan together. That was how the Light Clan came to be. The first level that I'm at now is the ruins of the Light Tree Country. There are a total of 7 entrances that lead to the second level. The closest entrance to this place is located in the ruins of the capital of the Light Tree Country. Ordinary people wouldn't go through this entrance if they want to go to the second level. They would rather take a longer route because this entrance is extremely dangerous. Dangerous? It is indeed very dangerous. If the treasure-searching compass is not wrong, there is a half-Saint Realm Chi sleeping in the direction of the capital of the Light Tree Country. There seems to be a half-Saint Realm Light Ant there. Ordinary people would not take this path because it might disturb the ant's slumber and cause it to attack. However, Ning Fan was different. He did not like to take a longer route. In this Light Ancestor Earth Abyss, there were killing restrictions everywhere. He could not fly too fast. If he wants to reach Bei Xiaoman as soon as possible, he would need to take a shortcut. After deciding on the direction, Ning Fan flew at full speed. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, he arrived at an ancient ruin. This place used to be the capital of a country that was built in a forest. The scale of the capital was not small. It could accommodate millions of cultivators. Now, however, only ruins remained. The entrance to the second level was located at the central area of the capital. Hiss! Hiss! Sensing Ning Fan's approach, light ants kept crawling out from the abandoned buildings. Millions of them flapped their short wings and flew into the sky. Then they sprayed light bullets at Ning Fan. How troublesome! Little cat, don't you like fighting? Come out and fight with me. Ning Fan released Little Cat and Aphrodite. He even summoned the Netherworld Ghost Flower. As a result, Ning Fan did not even need to take action personally. In less than the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, the millions of light ants were all killed by his army. Hundreds of inner cores exploded. The formation rate of them was much lower than Dao fruits of the same grade. Ning Fan kept all the inner cores that exploded into his storage pouch. As for Ning Fan's group, their wanton slaughter of the light ants had enraged the 7 powerful light ants that were hibernating in this place. The ground of the Light Tree Country suddenly cracked open. 7 incomparably huge light ants crawled out from the ground. There were 6 Immortal Emperor Realm Light Ants and 1 Half-Holy Realm Light Ant. The Immortal Emperor Realm Light Ants were the same as ordinary light ants. All of them were golden and shiny. Only the half-holy light ant took human form with a sway of his body. He was a burly man clad in azure armor. Eat meat. Facing Ning Fan's delicious flesh and blood, the 6 immortal Emperor Realm light ants all drooled with extremely acidic saliva. Unlike the low-grade light ants, the immortal Emperor Realm light ants could actually speak simple words. Unfortunately, their spiritual intelligence was still too low. Ordinary immortal emperors would definitely be afraid when they saw the soul-sucking half-holy realm Treant summoned by Ning Fan. However, they were not afraid at all. However, the burly man in green armor was extremely fearful of Ning Fan's group. There was nothing wrong with his intelligence. Ning Fan's words woke him up. He was originally very angry. However, at this moment, he was shocked by the formation of Ning Fan's group. He was filled with fear. After letting out a strange roar, he stopped the gluttonous immortal Emperor Light Ants from attacking Ning Fan. You don't seem to be from the Light Tribe or the Four Meridian sect. Are you here to meddle in the Holy Ant Sect's business? The green-armored man questioned. At the same time, he merged the surrounding 6 immortal Emperor Light Ants into his body. Even though he was a half-sage, he wasn't too far from a demi-sage. Therefore, after absorbing the 6 light ants, his cultivation level skyrocketed to the first level of a demi-sage. Upon seeing this, Ning Fan immediately frowned. If this man was just a half-saint, he wouldn't mind killing him with an illusion technique. However, if the man had the ability to display the strength of a half-saint, then it wouldn't be easy to deal with him. Once the battle started, it would be a waste of time and he might not be able to win for sure. Ning Fan could see that the fusion of the light ants was not permanent. After a certain period of time, they would separate from each other. Even with this flaw, this kind of fusion could be said to be heaven-defying. It was no wonder that the existence of the light ants gave the Light Tribe a headache. The half-saint light ants could display the strength of a first-level demisage by merging with their own kind. Most of the first-level demisage ants could also display the strength of a second-level demisage through the fusion. It was definitely not an easy task to eliminate such half-saint and half-saint light ants. Ning Fan was anxious to find Bei Xiaoman and he did not want to cause any more trouble. Besides, there seems to be more than one half-saint light ant here. Ning Fan looked at a certain direction with a thoughtful expression. I don't know what the Holy Ant Sect is and I don't want to meddle in your business either. I'm here to save someone and I need to use the entrance of this place to enter the second floor. Can you do me a favor? Ning Fan said in an irrefutable manner. If the other party could not do him a favor, even if he could not kill this ant within a short period of time, he would still fight his way to the second floor. A junior like you is actually the leader of this group of people? Ning Fan's tone was almost like an order. It was too arrogant, which made the green-armored man extremely displeased. If it wasn't because of the half-saint realm experts by Ning Fan's side, he would certainly make Ning Fan pay with his ferocious nature. However, it was a critical moment to choose the queen ant. It was not wise for him to cause unnecessary trouble. Humph. I can lend you the entrance to the second floor. However, if you dare to disrupt the great plan of my Holy Ant Sect, I, the 12 Ant Generals, will never let you leave this abyss alive. As soon as he finished speaking, the green-armored man went back into the ground. However, his spirit sense was still locked on Ning Fan. Obviously, he would immediately retaliate if Ning Fan makes any strange moves. Ning Fan did not say much and kept the Netherworld Ghost Flower back. The undying ghost soldiers summoned by the Netherworld Ghost Flower could not be brought along. However, he did not keep Aphrodite, Little Cat, and Inextinguishable Lightning Nascent Soul. Instead, he kept them by his side as his subordinates. The moment they entered the second floor, Ning Fan asked Aphrodite and Little Cat, using telepathy. Holy Ant Sect. I've never heard of it. Have you heard of it? No. Aphrodite shook her head. It sounds a little familiar, but I can't remember. Even though she said she could not remember, Little Cat, who had turned into her human form, was drooling nonstop. She always felt that the name Holy Ant Sect was very delicious. It's fine if you don't know. Let's be more careful. Don't get involved in the dispute of the Holy Ant Sect. The Holy Ant sect is certainly not an ordinary sect since it could prevent the Light Clan from being completely eradicated for countless years. I'm afraid the Holy Ant sect has a lot to do with the chaos in the Earth Abyss this time, Ning Fan said solemnly. A long time after Ning Fan left, the green-armored man went back into the ground. He took the initiative to cancel the fusion and released the 6 immortal Emperor Light Ants that had fused with his body. At the moment he canceled the fusion, a bright light flashed in a place where there was no one around. A beautiful lady wearing fiery red battle armor appeared. Humph! Your Highness Hua Hua, why did you stop me from killing him? There is only a quasi-saint realm expert beside him. If you and I work together, we can kill him and devour his flesh and blood. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Then, you will certainly have a greater chance of competing for the Ant Queen. The green-armored man said with displeasure. In other words, the reason why he did not attack Ning Fan was not only because he was afraid of Ning Fan but also because of the order from the lady in red armor. I have just broken through to the quasi-saint realm with the help of my mother's inner core fragment. My cultivation base has yet to stabilize. You two have only reached this level by borrowing power. You won't be able to last for long. It won't be easy for the two of us to kill this brat. The lady in red armor whose name was Hua Hua said meaningfully. As a quasi-saint realm expert, her whereabouts were actually seen through by Ning Fan with just a glance. There's no doubt about it. Ning Fan must have discovered me with that glance just now. This brat definitely has some hidden tricks up his sleeves. I'm afraid that he is even more difficult to deal with than that quasi-saint tree man. Your Highness, you think too highly of that brat. If your Highness is willing to stop that quasi-saint tree man, I can kill all the others including that brat by myself. The green-armored man said arrogantly. Kubi Xiong, you are too conceited. You will certainly suffer because of this in the future. The lady in red armor said with dissatisfaction. Your Highness, you are right. I will certainly correct this flaw. Even though he said that he would correct his mistake, the green-armored man did not have the slightest intention to do so. Instead, his eyes darted around the lady's body boldly with a greedy expression. The lady's face turned cold. Mind your identity. Yes. The green-armored man frowned and straightened his eyes. However, there was a hint of disdain in his eyes. Bitch, you won't be able to stay arrogant for long. When the Ant Queen selection begins, you won't have any other choice even if you don't want to follow me. I will get you sooner or later. Your inner core, your body, everything about you. Genius website. Apex mobile version, M. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.